but the... Oh my gosh, Strode deletes Dagus. He doesn't have enough magic resist. He's completely itemized on armor, and he can't... Wild Dog is going to get caught here, though, by the ultimate of D-Loot, and Radar with the Cataclysm will take him down. Now Buster Toast going in. Gamer will take down Prophet, but now they're in full retreat. Buster Toast forced the flash away as Dagus is fairly low. A 1-for-1 fight there, support. The Order ultimate is going to hit Divine Cameron, and they will get the double knockup. Dagus takes one. He will take a fight in the bottom side. Ooh, great Emperor's Divide. Hectus trying to get onto the backline. A double kill for the Azir. Oh, can he get the triple? No. But the... Oh, and there's the double kill. The Vega to try and chase them down, still alive. But the double kill for Stro as well. The top laners and junglers are dead. Prophet gonna go in aggressively. Too aggressively though. He's gonna take quite a bit of damage. Gamer trying to back away. Oh my god, Stro deletes Wild Dog, however. Here comes Buster Toast. They secure D-Loon, and he is dead. Dagus is gonna get stunned momentarily by the parallel convergence, but Pectus is gonna try to take down Divine Cameron, and he does. He can. Oh, Pectus with the damage. Wild Dog has arrived as well. They will take down the jungler, so they are gonna get some kills in return, but D-Loon's on the bottom side now, taking down another. Flash, let's bounce, will pull the jungler and top laner into the team. Wild Dog trying to deal out as much damage as he can. He's got to be careful. Stro has arrived, but Prophet could go down. Dagus will take the kill. This 2v2 in the mid lane is going to get the stretching strikes on the Stro. Stro's pretty low as the electrocute does activate. Buster Toast has his passive. Stro's got to get out of here. He's going to lose his life. That's not worth. Pectus gets the kill. Is it going to be a double kill to Pectus, and he's 3-0.
Game 5.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't expect this game 5. I expected a little.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of Twitch, and welcome to ABL Season number 3. After 2 months in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, we are back with another season of ABL action. I'm your host, as always, Yeso, with the play-by-play cast, and joining me for color commentary today, his first ever cast, my good friend Zoob. Welcome to the desk, bud. How does it feel?
Thanks, man. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I got you.
Okay, sorry. It feels pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty excited, ready for this to start, just like everyone else. Yeah, I'm really ready, honestly. That's like the best adjective I could use.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I was, as I was telling you kind of before we got on live, you know, I was a little burnt out at the end of Season 2. Those playoffs can really take a lot out of you, but after a few weeks of rest, I was ready to go, and I've been jonesing for Season 3 to start for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So definitely very, very excited to be back here on the cast, and definitely cool to welcome you, Zoob, to your first cast, and it's certainly going to be a fun one. Just some business here to take care of before we do get to tonight's match between No Name Necessary and Team Royal Luck. The league has been revamped in the offseason, folks. We've got new teams, some new rules, and certainly a lot of fun to come in this season. To update to everybody on the teams that we have returning to the league, GG Forfeited 15, as well as Vital Point Storm actually coming back to the ABL after leaving early in season number 2. And then we do have Enter the Beast returning to the league as well, now rebranded as the Kawaii Knights. Other than that, the other 7 teams in the league are all brand new to the ABL. We have Elevated Gravity, Full Send Gaming, No Name Necessary, Reborn Gaming, Reign of Kings, Schism, and Team Royal Luck. Certainly plenty of veterans of the league sprinkled across those rosters, but at least all new brands and teams in the league. The format stays fairly the same, a 9-week single round robin season of best of 3s. Each team will play one best of 3 a week, either on Monday or Tuesday night. The top 6 teams at the end of that regular season do advance to the playoffs, which will be best of fives, and probably one of the biggest changes to the league this season is the adjustment of ELO. This league was born as a Bronze 5, 2 Gold 1 league, and it has now been shifted upward. We are now Gold 5 to Platinum 2. So certainly the level of play going to be a lot better this season, and certainly excited to see just how that shows on stream. If you do want to support the stream, consider subscribing. We are a Twitch affiliate and working our way towards being a Twitch partner, so consider subscribing. Or you can check out the donation link in the description of the channel as we start to prepare for draft for this first game between No Name Necessary and Team Royal Luck. Is there anything you kind of want to address here at the onset, Zoob, about the series or the league in general?
So for the series, really, we have two teams that I've heard like a lot of good things about between Team Royal Luck and No Name Necessary. So we put potentially like two playoff contenders for the very first game, which would be really good. I think that we're gonna have a lot of in the mid lane. I think there's gonna be a lot of action with Pectus. I think that's gonna be one of like the most determining lanes, as well as the bot lane. So it'll be exciting to watch for sure. Good first series to see like what picks they want to pull out and stuff.
I certainly couldn't agree more. And you mentioned talk that we've heard about these teams and these players. One thing I did want to talk about, just to all of the folks in our league, players, owners alike, just want to remind everybody that we've seen plenty of trash talk within the server, and maybe some people forget that really the only thing that matters here is you can trash talk all you want, but nothing matters if you don't show up, quote unquote, on stage. So we've heard plenty of stuff from people within the server, but I think the talking should be done on the Rift on game day. So I heard plenty of cocky predictions from some teams, and there's certainly going to be 5 teams at the end of this week that will be sorely disappointed. So we're going to have to see just how that one shakes out as we do prep to get into this first series of the season. And if Zoob could just let them know we are ready to go on the cast and we can get into draft here momentarily. Let's bump your volume up just a little bit. There we go.
Yeah, and I actually did a roster rundown with Team Royal Luck. Never got posted because the audio was messed up on it, but I did talk to them. Most of them have been friends, according to Sora Lowe's, who I talked to since their whole life. They've been playing League of Legends together since any of them started, so they should have a lot of built-in synergy coming in to the game for sure. Even though like it's a new team and like Sai is role swapping, even Pride, not Prayer, was saying that Sai was actually a beast on AD carry last season, despite him playing jungle. So it should be a clean role swap. We should have a lot of synergy built into the team. Sorolo seemed pretty confident going into this. He said that there's no way Pectus was going to smash him. So I'm definitely excited because Pectus in the ABL has just been a dominant beast last season, at least. Like not many mid laners are competing with him at that level. And now that the elo has moved up, we should definitely see a lot better competition in the mid lane.
Couldn't agree more. You mentioned the rosters there. A perfect time for us to actually run down the lineups for this first game. No Name Necessary will start on the blue side here for game number 1. They will have Dagus in the top lane, Mephi roaming around in the jungle. As you mentioned, Pectus, their strong mid laner for No Name Necessary. Umyrimbra, their AD carry, and Jihoon Kim supporting for the No Name Necessary lineup.
Yeah, and on the red side, we have Team Royal Luck with Mr. Otter in the top lane, Sin Greed, jungle, the mid laner Sora Low, and then we have Sai and a little favor in the bot lane. And I'm actually pretty sure that I was told that they're actually like real life brothers. So, might be a little in-house arguing between them, but they should get on. They should get along.
A little brotherly love on the Rift couldn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, so it'll definitely be ready, and it looks like the players are actually ready. They're spamming R.
And you are correct. We are in a draft here for game number 1 between No Name Necessary and Team Royal Luck. Just to start off this draft, what are your kind of early expectations here? Are there some definite bans you expect, or some early picks you think that these teams will prioritize?
So I definitely think that Nunu is really strong right now, and especially paired with either Kog'Maw or Azir. I think that that's going to be pretty big. I think Lulu's a very strong pick. The Vladimir kind of signals that they might want to play GP, Mr. Otter, because Vladimir does kind of dump all over GP. It's also just like a strong pick that's really annoying to deal with, so maybe they just don't want to play against it. But I'm thinking that Azir is going to be high priority, Lulu and Nunu, and maybe Kog'Maw, I think will all be high priority picks here.
I've certainly seen plenty of pro players as of late talking about Nunu so much and how he's essentially permabanned in high elo solo queue because he's just ridiculous, and especially you mentioned paired with things like the Kog'Maw or the Azir when he blood boils them and gives them that AP boost as well. Just so much power in that one ability.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see the Renekton ban here from Team Royal Luck, and that's actually a really good ban because Doggus was known last season as a Renekton one trick for the most part. So it's going to be interesting to see what champion they put him on this game. And there's the Kog'Maw first pick, like I predicted. Really, really strong champion right now. Probably the best mid-game AD carry, which is where the meta is mid-game AD carries. You know, I would not like to see Team Royal Luck allow No Name Necessary to get Lulu paired with this, because that would just be a devastating combo.
And you talked a little bit earlier about the confidence and how strong Pectus has been in the mid lane during his ABL career, but that early Kog'Maw pick shows a lot of confidence from No Name Necessary in their AD carry. Myronbrow making his ABL debut tonight. Gonna give him that Kog'Maw and hope that he can carry them to a victory here in game number 1, and then pairing the Orianna with it could really go for the Juggernaut comp right now.
Absolutely. I don't expect a Teemo pick. I'd be very surprised.
Ooh,
yes.
And there's the Lulu you mentioned.
Lulu. Okay, so now they have a lot of shielding for the Kog'Maw. The Orianna provides so much for team fights. This is already like a giant scary draft. Now, the question is, what are they going to do to counter this? They can't pick the Zac because they already picked the Lee Sin. They have to be working against the comp. Like, at the moment, I feel like they might just be drafting comfort picks. And I can't see these comfort picks working really well against the Juggernaut. Like, they have to have something that can either separate Kog'Maw from the rest of the team, or they have to be able to pick them off somehow. They're going to have to change up the draft a little bit in the second half. Because at the current rate, I don't see them winning this draft.
Well, they did ban away the Nunu so that, you know, they won't at least be able to like triple down on the buffing.
Yeah, that would
Kog'Maw.
actually be absurd. Absolutely absurd if they got Nunu on top of that. And we do still need tanks from both teams if they plan on running any. So if we're looking at top lane, we still have Maokai and Ornn, maybe Cho'Gath. And if we're looking in the jungle, we see Nunu and Zac ban.
As well as the Sejuani.
Yeah, Sejuani's gone also. So, I mean, that leaves like J4. But the jungler on TRL is already picked up. So, I suppose that J4 would actually be pretty good for N3 here, because it would just provide so much to their team fight that they already have, especially with the Orianna Wombo. And I think the J4 pick here would actually be amazing for N3 if they decide to pick it up.
Oop.
And we do have a remake.
Try and resolve this here momentarily, folks, and hopefully get right back in to Champion Select for this first game. So you mentioned the J4 then. We can just kind of continue talking about where we're at, because the draft is going to at least be mirrored up until that point. You talk about the J4. What do you want to pair with that in the top lane?
So if we take the J4 in the jungle, he can either go... and they do have Mephi as their jungler, and I played with Mephi before. I know he plays Jarvan. He can either go full damage or he can go tank. It depends on what they want to put in their top lane, right? We haven't seen a top laner from No Name Necessary or from Team Royal Luck yet, so I think they were saving that for the last pick, unless that pick that was messed up is going to be the top laner. So I'd like to see either a strong counter pick or maybe like Gnar just to like the Narvin combo is really strong. Uh, I think Nar's a really good blind pick. So if they can't get a counter pick with the 4th pick from Team Royal Luck, like if Team Royal Luck's 4th pick's their top laner, then I would say get a counter pick. If they don't, then I would really like to see a Nar to go with the Jarvan, and I think that they would absolutely win the draft at this point.
And to clarify on what the remake was about, I think it was just a misclick on the side of Team Royal Luck with that first pick after the second ban phase. They said it was supposed to be a Shen, so I would expect a Shen pick once they get to that point, and then after that we'll have to see what happens with the last 3 picks of the draft. But everything mirrored here.
So if it is a Shen, I would definitely like to see the Gnar, maybe even the Gangplank. There's a lot of good options actually into the Shen that they could take. So
$5 says they lock in Kog'Maw. Oh, it's like I can see the future.
I don't know who's giving you $5, but it's not me. Maybe someone will donate $5 and then it'll go straight to not you.
Yeah.
But it's a thought that counts. So we have the whole remake up to here. Now, something that I do like is that they have, from the side of Team Royal Luck, is that they have paired up the Ryze with the Lee Sin, so it's going to give a lot of ganking potential to mid lane. Because of the Ryze's lockdown, because at post 6, whenever Lee Sin has ult, the Orianna doesn't have any movement abilities, right? So if they can go even in the mid lane until level 6, or even before then, if the Lee Sin can get a couple good ganks off, I think that they can probably try to snowball through the mid lane, and the Ryze could potentially have push priority on the lane, if depending on how they play out. If Singreed plays around mid lane, then they should definitely be able to get push priority in mid lane and look to make plays on the opposite side of the map. You're gonna have to go for the bot lane pre-6, in my opinion, before Lulu gets ult, before the Kog'Maw scales up too much. I would expect to see stopwatches from the Kog'Maw and Lulu just to survive. Maybe even that, what's it called? The one where you can switch summoner spells.
Unsealed Spellbook?
Yeah, and they just run TP and just TP back to lane repeatedly. So much lane control. I just like, and according to draft, I think that M3 won like very strong. But of course, it always comes down to play, especially whenever it's a gold plat league. Like, if this was SKT versus KT, the drafts wouldn't even be close. But because it is a gold plat league, it all comes down to the how they play, you know?
Yeah.
But just straight comp wise, okay, an actual Shyvana pick. So I don't know, like they already have a lot of scaling on the side of N3, so I think the Shyvana was a little bit weird, especially considering that Singreed's going to be looking to gank a lot. Shyvana really can't match that. The only thing that Shyvana could do is try and outfarm Singreed, but I would definitely be looking to avoid him as the Shyvana, because I think that the Lee Sin wins pre 2 items, 1 item for the Shyvana. So it's gonna have to be smart pathing from Mephi.
And we will see the Shen support for Team Royal Luck there. That's something I've been playing since Season 4. I love that pick. I loved it even prior to the rework when you got the heal, the on-hit heal with his Q back in the day, but still certainly very, very strong at this point in the bottom lane. Has become fairly popular at high elo and in pro play, so we're going to see that paired with the Tristana. And you talk about the Juggernaut composition, you mentioned those tanky top laners for No Name Necessary, and they do grab the Maokai to be that front line as well, having that Shyvana to try and dive into the Royal Luck team. I'm pretty sure you would lean towards No Name Necessary and winning the draft, but how do you feel about that jungle and top lane selection to finish off their draft?
So the deal with their draft now is that they have a really, really strong late game. If the game goes past like 30-35 minutes, I believe the only threat is going to be Tristana, especially because Maokai or Shyvana, probably Maokai, would actually be able to get a locket, and then Lulu gets a redemption. Rumble's ult and Rumble in general is pretty much useless, you know, because Rumble's whole kit involves his ult, and ever since the introduction of redemption, if you get a locket on the players whenever he ults, and then also redemption, it's totally negates his ult, and that's like most of his power is through Rumble's ultimate. So a weird pick for me, especially considering that Maokai's generally pretty good into AP lanes. So I guess it was more of a counter pick by Doggus, so it was a good pick for sure. Uh, and then the Shyvana, I think it's a little weird. Like I felt like the Jarvan would have made this comp like way too strong. Like there was no chance because he has so much early gank pressure. You can match the Lee Sin, and with the Shyvana, you kind of just want to power farm. So I expect Mephi to be full clearing while Singreed needs to be looking to make plays in either the mid lane or the bot lane. But I do like the Shen pick a lot because I think the Shen pick actually enables them to make plays on the bot lane. If you can hit a good taunt on the Kog'Maw or on the Lulu pre-6, neither of them have really much mobility. So I think that will be, I think that was a very good pick on the side of Team Royal Luck. Because I do think that the Ryze, Lee Sin, Tristana, and Shen have to be making plays on the bot lane throughout the early game. It's the only way that they're going to win. Because if they fall behind, even if they just stay even, they lose the game at this point because they don't scale very well.
And that Kog'Maw is just going to be ridiculous, especially paired with the shields from Orianna and Lulu. Yeah,
absolutely. It's and the side of No Name Necessary has a very, very good team fight. So, excuse me. Team Royal Luck is not looking to team fight, right? They're looking to make picks. They drafted full pick comp. They have the Lee Sin for his ultimate. They have the Shen taunt. They have the Ryze lockdown. They have a lot of pick potential on the team. So if they can catch someone out, that is how they go about winning. They want to run the 1-3-1 potentially. If Sorolo is running Spellbook, then they can run the 1-3-1 comp, right? They have decent disengage with the Lee ult, Tristana ult. They do have decent disengage, so they can't get fully engaged on in the 5v5. And then the Rumble and Shen can be split pushing. And then the Orianna, Pectus does like to go off into those side lanes. So I'm not sure what mastery he's running or what rune he's running. If he has the Unsealed Spellbook, then he could be matching with Teleport. If not, he could just be farming the side wave, keeping Ryze out of it, or keeping Ryze at bay. Just to stall the game, you know. I think that if they funnel if this team falls behind by No Name Necessary, they just have to funnel all the farm into Kog'Maw. If they're ahead, the game's over. So I definitely like the draft more from No Name Necessary. They're gonna have to be making plays early, Team Royal Luck, in order to make this comp work. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. It's definitely gonna come down to how they play.
Certainly the best way for a game to go, in my opinion. I certainly hate to see a game just over at the drafts, but I guess one of the great things, as you mentioned earlier, talking about like this, matchup compared to like SKT and another Korean team or whatever, is there's so much more variability at this level, even with the better play with gold and platinum level players, that you can get a team that gets a crazy strong draft like No Name Necessary here, and there's still room for mistakes, and there's still certainly a window for Royal Luck to come in here and snatch a victory away from the jaws of a defeat in draft. But we're just going to have to see how it exactly plays out once we get into the game.
And another thing to think about is that once Elder Dragon starts spawning at 35 minutes, once it starts spawning, there's literally, I would give a 90% chance that No Name Necessary wins if it gets past 35 minutes. Just because they have the Shyvana who's looking to take all those early dragons. It's easy to read that the Shyvana is going to want to take the dragons early game. You have to be able to ward it out. You have to be able to catch her out right there. If you just let the Shyvana take all the dragons, you gotta pause here. If you just let the Shyvana take all the dragons, then you're not, you're just going to fall behind because they're going to get all the dragons on the side of No Name Necessary. The Lee Sin has to be looking for the Shyvana. He has to find her out in the jungle. Ryze has to be looking to use his ultimate bot lane. The Shen has to be diving bot lane. There's a lot that Team Royal Luck is drafted into that they're going to have to be doing in order to win this game.
All right, well, we do have a pause, as it appears Jihoon Kim, the support for No Name Necessary, has disconnected here at the start of this game, so we're going to try and get that resolved here as quickly as possible so we can get right into this one. But as I mentioned earlier, folks, if you do want to support us, please consider subscribing to the stream. Check out that button at the top right of your screen, and also the donate link down in the description. And one thing to check out as well during the stream is that op.gg extension should be a middle left of the screen for the stream. If you click on that, you should be able to get stats as well as runes, summoner spells, and other assorted information from op.gg on the match at hand. So make sure to utilize that tool if you want any more background information on these teams, and hopefully we can have this pause resolved here momentarily.
I would like to see what dragon is spawning first. We don't actually get to see that until the game starts, but I would really like to see, because if it is, say, an Infernal, then I think that Team Royal Luck would actually really like the Infernal Drake. They have a lot of damage. They have the Rumble, the Lee Sin, the Tristana, and Rise. They all love doing damage. And that's not to say that No Name necessarily wouldn't like it, but they have the Lulu and the Maokai who don't necessarily want to be doing damage, and even the Shyvana doesn't necessarily do that much damage early. So I think that the early Infernal would actually go a very long ways for Team Royal Luck.
Yeah, there's certainly never a team that doesn't want an Infernal Drake, but certainly some that want it more than others. And as you mentioned, the damage profile on the side of Team Royal Luck would certainly make them want to play around that objective early if they are lucky enough to get that early Infernal Drake spawn. And they do certainly have what seems to be a little bit of a stronger 2v2 here in the early game, so they can look to play a little more aggressively and try and set themselves up to play around that objective at about 5 to 7 minutes. But just going to have to see how they want to play out this early game. Hopefully they have recognized the urgency based on these compositions that they need to have. Cannot be complacent here in the early game, otherwise, as you mentioned, they will get outscaled like crazy.
I think that a early Cloud Drake would actually do the team No Name Necessary a huge favor, making that Kog'Maw a little bit faster when he already has the fleet footwork. He looks like he's going to have the stopwatch as well. Yeah, the Kog'Maw, Orianna, and Lulu all have the stopwatch, and all 5 members Team Royal Luck have stopwatch. The League of Stopwatch is upon us. But I think that just the extra movement speed for the Maokai, for the Shyvana, for the Kog'Maw, literally all 5 members of Team No Name Necessary would really enjoy the Cloud Drake. Whereas, don't get me wrong, like, it's the same thing. It's like the opposite for the Infernal, where Team Royal Luck really wants more damage, and Team No Name Necessary is really looking for the movement speed. They don't want to get caught out. They want to be able to kite around. The Shyvana wants to be able to engage along with the Maokai, so it's very... It just depends. I think that the early Dragon's going to affect how they play the map a lot. If it's something that... If it's an Infernal, I think that Singreed should be looking to not let Mephi take it level 4, which Shyvana loves to do. And if it's a Cloud Drake, I think that Mephi needs to be looking to take the level 4 Drake and hoping that Singreed doesn't... Or the whole team of Team Royal Luck wouldn't expect it.
Alright, hopefully getting the last couple of things resolved here.
He has reconnected, so hopefully. Just got a game invite from Pectus.
Yeah, that was weird. He just bailed on us, man.
I think that even if... I don't think that the Lee Sin should be... It's kind of weird because they drafted Rumble on red side, so he does have that extra chance to get ganked, even though Shyvana is not an early ganker. If Mephi does decide to gank top side, Rumble is much more vulnerable. He has no gap closer. He has the Tribush that he has to watch out for. So the Maokai is super safe. Even if the Lee Sin decides to go top side, there's not much he's going to gain because the Maokai is just going to get tanky and not die to the Rumble ever. Like, at least he shouldn't. So I don't see a reason why the Lee Sin would go topside unless it was to counter gank. Because if the Lee Sin counter ganks the Shyvana, then the either mid or top, they should win the 2v2. Pre-level 9, I think they'll win the 3v3 bottom. It's there's I would say that I think that Lee Sin has to be looking mid for early ganks. That's where I would at least expect them. Either looking mid for early ganks or looking to go into the jungle of Mephi and try and steal away some of his camps. Maybe even try and find Mephi there. Because if he can kill Mephi, that would be the most ideal situation for Team Royal Luck. They all just left the game. Huh?
Yeah, we are going to have to remake, so we're going to have to actually exit this game.
A summoner has disconnected.
The game ended without a result. Bummer. Alrighty, so we're just going to have to remake. Hopefully, draft should go pretty quickly so that we can get back into game right away. Gotta find this custom game again.
Find the room. Everything is fucking bugged. What? Sorry, cuss word. It was a message I was reading from. Sorry. Won't let us invite. All right, so he's saying that Mephi's saying that they won't let them invite.
Yeah, you just have to look up the game.
What is it?
Just look up N3. It should be N3 versus TL.
What the heck is this? Okay, I see it. What's the password?
Let me just hold up.
Is it?
Yeah, I muted my mic on the stream real fast.
Okay. Okay, I'm in.
He made it. All right. Now let's get this going.
Back into the game.
Figures, you know, hopefully we get the kinks out here day number 1.
Okay, they're doing blind pick. That's good. It'll go real fast. The only problem.
Oh, they
now
can't
is
do. No, you
pause.
can't do blind pick.
Okay.
Wait
Now
a
they can
second.
pause.
Yeah.
The stream is going well.
Can't do blind pick. No pauses. You're killing me. But the oh my gosh, Stro delete. There will be no pauses, folks. You can't. You have to do tournament draft to have the ability to pause.
So what's the deal? Are we making a remake or?
You have to remake again.
Nice. Okay.
Hold on a moment. I'm gonna hop down and deal with this real fast. All right, we're back, folks. Sorry about that little snafu. But these guys did not do it right. Both teams need to have the ability to pause just in case we have DCs and other sort of things. Very important, so. Now we got to do this one more time. They all know the picks, so it should be pretty quick.
Yeah, hopefully. Do I have to look for the game again?
I will tell you. I'm just perma refreshing the custom game lobby to see. Silly, silly boys. Well, sorry about this, folks. First day of the season. Some guys don't. Told them yesterday, make sure you read the rules. Ignorance of the rules is not an excuse. Clearly states you must be in tournament draft. This is a damn mess. Come on, folks. And now Pyros is texting me. What happened? I step away to take a dump and come back and the game is over. I'm sorry, Pyros.
Okay, I'm in.
What's it called?
Pectus Excavatus' game.
Hey, Pectus.
Yeah, unfortunately, Penguin was not eligible for this game. He is in silver right now, and the ABL has a strict rule on the rank for good reason. They've had weeks to prepare. So we do have a sub.
Can
the support
you
role.
invite me?
I guess.
Thanks, friend. I appreciate you.
No problem.
I promise, folks, last remake. I swear.
We think
Possibly.
they all just left, huh?
Oh my god. You guys made me eat my words immediately. Figure it out, guys. This is an absolute mess.
It'll be resolved soon enough. Sorry to everyone watching the stream right now.
Yeah, apologies. I didn't know it was so
our
difficult to get a
fault.
game going.
Definitely just blame Pectus, is what I'm understanding. It's
I
all
would
his fault.
certainly blame Pectus.
From what I understand, at least, it's all Pectus' fault.
Yeah. He should know better. Oh my goodness, guys. Make the game.
Dude, should I make the game?
I'm almost thinking you should.
Pectus is in need a ref.
I'll be right back.
You guys can't hear me right now, huh?
Now they can.
Oh, they can?
Yeah. They couldn't. They couldn't, but JC has a cute beard. Who is Sir Unicorn? Is that an IRL friend who's Twitch? I don't know. Shout out CV Lax. Let's go. Oh,
Waiting on casters. You're not waiting on casters.
you guys need to invite us.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the lobby name, Jihin?
It's gotta be Pectus, huh? It's Pectus. That's what it's called. Same password.
You guys are killing me.
Alright, is this it? Is this the one? This is the one, I think.
Game is full.
Alright, join now. Someone move to spectate. I'm also a CLG fan, even though they suck right now.
Yeah, they're terrible.
I think 6A played like a gold player in most of their games so far.
Okay, Summoners Rift 5v5 tournament draft. Ugh, game on.
Go!
No, P. There we go. Oh, it's Colby. What's up, Colby? Welcome. Good to see you, bud. Thank you for joining us. Alrighty, folks. This should be pretty quick. I think we already went over it ad nauseum. We're going to see some Kog'Maw, some Orianna, some Lulu, some Maokai, and some Shyvana. And then... who was their top laner? Rumble Lee Sin, Ryze, Tristana, Shen.
Maokai.
Okay, they're just picking their guys. Good.
Maokai's probably the best champion.
Oh, and the worst part is we have to wait another 3 minutes.
Yeah. Maybe we could play some paid advertisement.
Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna play a game of PUBG. I'm just gonna drop Picado or School.
Do we have any paid advertisement?
Paid advertisement? We technically do. I'm not obligated, but I can throw a little shout out. Yep. Just wanted to throw a little shout out to the official energy drink of the ABL, Beaver Buzz Energy. You can check them out at beaverbuzz.com for a bunch of different... It is an energy drink. Go to beaverbuzz.com to check it out.
Did you make it?
I did not.
Do you know who did?
I do not. But they sponsored the league. Thank you so much. And if anybody else is interested in sponsoring or supporting the league, you can subscribe. Check out the donation link at the bottom of the page or get in contact with Zohan through the...
kind of trolling us. I wish you'd hurry up and pick.
Yeah.
Making everyone wait.
It's the worst.
Is Beaver Buzz only available in Canada?
I cannot tell you. I do not know. But draft is done. Now we've just got 4 minutes. 4 minutes to kill.
You ever tried it yourself?
Beaver Buzz? No, I have not.
Do you know anyone that's tried it?
Nope.
Interesting.
I know that it is a sponsor. That is all. All right. Let's have a little fun here. What is your cheese pocket pick? What is your go-to cheese pocket pick?
In solo queue?
Yeah.
I like both. Sometimes I play top lane, right? And I like to play both Nunu and Lucian top. Especially with Nunu, like you just spam your snowball on the enemy laner. It's really good into Irelia, so if they ever blind pick Irelia, you can just pick Nunu and snowball them on repeat. And there's literally nothing Irelia can do. She just dies.
Sure.
And take Ignite, and then it's literally over. That's probably my favorite cheese. And then Lucian top is just fun to play, honestly. It kind of sucks whenever you're bad like me, but it's fun.
Gotta love it. Mine is definitely a lot more out there.
Let's hear it.
Pyros will appreciate this one. My go-to non-meta cheese pocket pick is 80 carry Thresh. It is nowhere near as strong as it was when it started because they nerfed his auto attack range. But hear me out.
Yeah.
your laning phase is garbage because your range is so short and you're so susceptible. But if you don't get dumpstered in laning phase, you outscale any AD carry because you get scaling on hit magic damage with the passive on your Flay. All you have to do is collect souls, and at the same time you get scaling armor from your souls. So
Like,
Thresh
don't
AD
get me
carry
wrong.
late game is brutal.
I've been dicked by a Thresh before late game, like once, but I've also seen them on my team do very bad
Oh yeah,
3 times.
no, that laning phase is brutal.
So, you know, it's like I want to believe you, I really do, but
Trust me, it's
just not
garbage laning phase. It's so hard to get to a point in the game where you can actually be relevant. But if you can survive the laning phase and get to the late game without feeding, oh, like I 5-hit a full build Mundo. Five auto attacks and he was dead.
I mean, if you're not lying, that's pretty cool.
I am not lying. I have buddies that can corroborate my story.
Okay.
They still like to bring it out whenever we
Yo,
play.
Anything that can kill a Mundo in 5 hits its full build is probably pretty strong. Because I've never heard of anything doing that.
But like I said, to get to that point is so rough. But it's definitely fun. I don't know. I love that pick. People just don't expect you to do as much damage as you do.
Right.
You come
know,
out. I go like, do you go like double Energizer build, and then when you have like the fully stacked damage on your Flay passive, and you come up and hit somebody when you've got like the Shiv proc ready. Oof.
Can you build run-ins on Thresh? Is that a thing?
Rune-ins. I've never
Seems
built
like
rune-ins on
you
Thresh.
have
I go what you call it, Shiv and
Maybe rapid fire.
yes, rapid fire cannon. I hate that I always forget the name of that item. We are loading in the game, folks. 47 minutes later, but we've done it.
It's the time of the season.
Oh, so beautiful. Now if we could just load quickly and go.
Alright, now we finally get to see what team time. A lot of time to talk about their game plan here. A lot of time to see what they want to do in order to get ahead and win the game.
You are correct, but folks, we are on the rift to start ABL Season 3. 2 months of off season.
Oh, and it's
40,
paused.
40 bans and 40 picks. But we have made it to game number 1 between No Name Necessary and Team Royal Luck. Okay, Zoob. Talk to me about this level when we got 5 members of Royal Luck going down towards the bottom lane. Could try and get something going. They may be spotted out here early, though.
Okay.
Yep, they will be
They see
spotted
the
up by the
Kog'Maw.
Kog'Maw.
He sees them too, so he's just gonna back up, leave the ward. They're not gonna accomplish anything. If Swift gets caught out here, it would be a huge mistake. Huge mistake. He misses the bush ward. No blame involved because it's a hard word to hit.
Minions have spawned.
Oh, minions have spawned, folks. I think we've made it. Well, thank you so much to everybody who has joined us for tonight's cast. Looking forward to a great best of 3 between these two teams tonight as we look to get started. Gonna see both junglers starting on their blue sides. Shyvana actually gonna start on her wolves, not needing a leash here. Which means that Kog'Maw and Lulu can get the early push on the lane, should be able to get level 2 first here.
Yeah, and I would really like to see the Rise here get push priority on mid lane. I think that that's going to be super important. Just being able to look around and make roam onto the bot lane at any point in the game would be pretty big, during laning phases at least. I think that the Kog'Maw and Lulu should have push priority in bot lane. And top lane, it just depends on how Mr. Otter wants to play it. You know, if he uses his Flame Spitter off cooldown, he should have the push priority. If he decides to hold the wave, which might be his best idea, because if Shyvana comes up there, he's done for. With all the CC that Maokai has and the damage that Shyvana has, even early.
Moving in aggressively, is the Royal Luck bottom lane going to get a bit of damage onto the Kog'Maw? Satchel Charge blows up and takes him down to about a third of his health, so certainly a positive trade there for Royal Luck. And can look to continue to play aggressively in this bot lane here in the early levels. Now they do have Lee Sin nearby, as he has moved to try and take Shyvana's red buff, so could look to make a possible level 3 gank towards the bottom lane here.
So it's actually pretty funny what Singrid has done here. He cleared his entire blue side of his jungle, took the red buff. I would like to see him finish clearing the rest of this, even though the Raptors are rewarded. If he can deny a bunch of farm from the Shyvana, that would actually be pretty big into it. Shyvana is coming, and Pectus knows he's there. This could be really bad for Singrid.
The one thing he does have going for him is Sorlo does have push priority in the mid lane, but he's going to take quite a bit of damage from Mephi. Can he chase him down? Flash from Sora, and it's going to force Mephi away. Yes, the Ignite. So no summoner spells for the Royal Luck mid laner, as they are fighting on the bottom side as well. Jihoon down below, half health. Ignite used.
Flash from Mephi.
Yeah, a little favor using his defensive summoner spell there as well. So Jihoon and Myron down very low in the bottom lane, but still no kills to speak for here in this game.
They need to push out this bottom lane, or else it's just going to be an easy dive. That was really well played by the Lee Sin, going back in on the Shyvana and then getting the flash. Now the Shyvana's not going to have flash. Blowing Sora low sums there wasn't the end of the just because he does have the summoner spellbook. It's going to come up a lot faster. Rise is back in the mid lane though, no pressure for the dive really from bot lane.
Looked like a little bit of miscommunication there between the AD carry and jungler of Royal Luck. Seemed like Sai wanted to go in with Lee Sin near the tri-brush behind Jihoon, but Lee Sin just content to go and take the Scuttle Crab, and Sai just forced to back away here and continue to farm out this lane.
I really like what Lee Sin's doing here. He is totally denied all 3 camps on the bot side of Shyvana's jungle. All Shyvana can take so far in the entire game actually is the 3 topside camps, and it's pretty big in denying. I think she got like maybe the big raptor, but even that is not that much in comparison to what Shyvana wants in like a full clear. I think it was really good by Lee Sin, by Singrid to deny that, and now he's gonna walk up to his raptors where Shyvana's trying to go farm, and Shyvana's gonna have to back off. Look, Shen is actually up towards the mid lane. This is a really good roam from the support.
He's going to get in onto Mephi here, going fairly low. Pectus is here to support and will discourage Greed from continuing to chase, but still has his entire red side minus those small raptors to clear here, so not only denying all those red side camps, but being able to go back to his red side.
So Team Royal Luck should know that all Mephi can do here is recall after the Gromp. There is not much else he can do. The Scuttle Crab's not up for the top side. There's no camps up for the top side. There's no way the blue buff's up. It's the Team Royal Luck should know his pathing here. He has to recall, go back bot side, wait for his Krugs, wait for his Raptors. That's about the only thing that he can do here. And their bot lane for Team Royal Luck has quite a bit of pressure as it is because of how much damage they've done on the Kog'Maw. He has no health potions. It's just very interesting, like how well this Lee Sin's been able to choke out the Shyvana from her farm, and that's super big because it's just going to delay the power spikes. And the first drake isn't infernal, so I would like to see Shyvana could, if she's The ward right here by the Dragon Pit would spot it out, but if she could level 4 take this solo Inferno, I think it would actually be really big.
And you mentioned Greed being able to keep Neffy down here in the early game, and you talked early about how Mr. Otter wanted to play the lane top side, and with Mephi being essentially pushed out of his own jungle, it's made Mr. Otter's job so much easier on the top side. He's been so much safer in this laning phase to just farm out as much as he likes and push this lane into Doggus' turret. So his early game has certainly been a lot easier for the pressure that Greed has been putting on the opposing jungler.
Absolutely. I think Greed is playing this very well. The only problem still, though, is that the Rumble cannot do any damage to this Maokai, at least not let it stick. He has the Doran shield. He has the Spectre's Cowl. It's not that Mr. Otto is playing it bad by any means. It's just that it's just a matchup, you know?
He's just a big, beefy tree.
Yeah, and Maokai has the sustain from his passive. He has the Doran shield. He has... it looks like he even has a biscuit mastery, so he just has so much sustain in this lane. There's no reason that you should ever see Doggus die. There's just not much going to happen in this top lane. I think that you're looking for Rumble to just be a big influence in the team fights only. If he can manage to get on the Lulu or the Kog'Maw solely in team fights, then I think the Rumble will have impact, but I don't really agree with the pick as of yet.
Now we do have Greed into this first brush on the bot side, looking to possibly get a lane gank going here. Doesn't look like No Name necessarily know what's going on.
He is level 6 and does have top flash, so we should see.
Oh, here he comes. Flash kick. Nice. The taunt onto the Kog'Maw. He's not going to be able to get away. Sai jumps in and first blood. A great play by Greed there. Ooh, Sai going in a little too aggressively.
Wow. Okay, that was really well played by the Lee Sin and the bot lane in general. Maybe a little over eager from Tristana there at the end, but yeah, really, really well played. Kog'Maw didn't have time to stopwatch. He didn't have time to flash or heal or anything. They're going to deny this early Inferno. Like I was saying earlier, the early Inferno is huge for the team comp of Team Royal Luck. I really like it. This should help them survive through the early game.
Ooh, Mephi has gone in trying to deny this. Ooh, great shockwave, and is actually able to secure the Infernal Drink. The steal by the Shyvana as well as the double kill. Could get the triple, trying to chase down Sai. Sorlo is here to help. There goes the equalizer. Mephi forced the flash away. But regardless, that is a remarkably positive play there for No Name Necessary, who was on the back foot. But the great steal there from Mephi totally turns this early game around.
Yeah, and because of that steal, like now Team Royal Luck doesn't have the Infernal. They don't have that means to snowball throughout the mid game with the extra damage that they needed to be able to push a lead. The gold is evening out. It's actually really scary at this point for Team Royal Luck. They're gonna have to look to make another play, because if they're settling on staying even, they're just going to get outskilled. And the great shockwave, the great smite, it's just really well played by No Name Necessary.
And that Infernal Drake only makes that scaling more terrifying. So that clock that you had Team Royal Luck on at the start of this game, that only got shorter here with that Infernal Drake steal, and now 2 kills onto that Shyvana is going to help Mephi feel a lot better about getting zoned in the early game. Plenty more gold in his pocket.
Absolutely, and she's caught up in farm to the Lee Sin. The Lee Sin can no longer deny her camps the way he was before. He can go in and take him, but at this point, the Shyvana can pretty much 1v1 him. There's no way that they're going to be able to keep the Shyvana down with the 2 kills. That's so much of a gold increase for her. All of that early work is just undone. It's really scary for Team Royal Luck right now. The Rumble does absolutely no damage to this Maokai. It's weird to see that he didn't go for the adaptive helm. Is that what it is? The one that like same spell does less damage.
Yeah, adaptive helm as opposed to he's going Spirit Visage.
Yeah, I think that would have been a better choice, especially because of like the Rise and the Rumble together. But
Shockwave in the mid lane. Sorlo could go down, and Mephi does snag the kill. Now can Pectus chase down Greed? The auto attack. Oh, stopwatch has been used. Pectus tanking the turret and will take the kill as well. A 4-1 lead now as we are fighting in the bottom lane, trying to take down you, Myron, bro. The ultimate from the Lulu going to keep him alive a little longer. Stopwatch activated by Sai. Now activated by Myron. Can he escape? Buster shot, but it's not going to be enough as Myron is able to take him down. Can he get the double kill? Polymorphed is the Shen. Tries to dash away, but that's a double kill for the Kog'Maw. And 6-1. No name necessary, exploding to a lead.
Weird decision to use the stopwatch from the Kog'Maw, I think he could have just kept hitting the Shen. He had the Lulu ulti. He had Lulu shields. This game is just totally out of hand at this point. No name necessarily has the lead, and like I said earlier, once they have a lead, it's impossible for them to lose the lead just because of their team comp.
And Mephi actually able to force out Mr. Otter's stopwatch there in the red side jungle of Team Royal Luck. Will lose his life for it, but that Rumble is certainly more susceptible to some ganks in the near future.
That would be the only way that Team Royal Luck wins this, is if Mephi keeps doing that, honestly. Like, at this point, it's very scary. If I was on Team Royal Luck right now, you have to be looking to make plays now. You have to be looking to bait. You're not going to win by traditional means. You're not going to win the team fights. You're not going to win. You have to be running the 1-3-1. You have to be using Ryze ult to make picks. You have to be using Lee Sin to make picks. You have to be using the Shen ult to make picks, you know? You have a lot of pick potential, but this is the only way you're going to win. You can't keep the Shyvana down anymore. The team fight is not yours to win. It's a scary game, but there's still a chance.
Yeah, and even worse, the 6 kills that No Name Necessary has been able to stack up are all on the people they want to stack them on. 6 kills split between their jungle, mid, and 80 carry. Certainly making them very scary. The flash taunt is going to catch you, Myron, but is able to flash away. Greed not able to get in and kick the Kog'Maw back towards his team, and essentially trading 1-for-1 in summoners there.
Yeah, but they do burn the Kog'Maw's flash, which I would say is okay because the Lee Sin does have his flash. So I'd like to see him revisit the bot lane soon.
He could go for it right now. Is going to land this. Sonic Wave doesn't follow. Jihoon just uses exhaust and backs away under his tower.
And it looks like Mephi is going for the Blood Razor.
Ooh, is going to get in behind Sorlo. Shockwave going to keep him in place, and Mephi gets his 4th kill of the game as he jumped over the Raptor while to get in behind the Ryze.
Yeah, and at this point, the Shyvana and the Kog'Maw just do so much damage already. The Ginsu is almost completed. The Frozen Mallet's almost completed. This is getting really, really scary for the side of Team Royal Luck, and they don't outscale. In this meta, you have to outscale because that's all the game is at this point, right? And they just made too many mistakes in the early game, I think.
Yeah, No Name Necessary also able to combo that first tower gold as they take down the tier 1 in middle lane. Gonna make it much easier for Mephi to continue to invade and play aggressively on TRL's side of the map here with that mid lane tower down.
And the gold, the mid laner for No Name Necessary Pectus is actually over 1,000 gold ahead of Sora Low, and then the jungler is actually like 2,500 gold ahead of Singreed. So the Lee Sin has fallen behind. The fact that Shyvana is already like stronger than him means that the Lee Sin's never going to be relevant again, in comparison at least, you know. So the only thing the Lee Sin has now is his ultimate, and the Orianna is just such a strong team fight, and he's so far ahead in gold. I'm interested if Team Royal Luck has a plan, because if they have a plan that I can't think of, then they might be good. But at this point, it's not looking good.
And you talk about the sustain for that Maokai in the top lane, and I mean, we just watched him use about 4 Flame Spitters on a Dagus and do not even a quarter of his health. He is so tanky right now. Now Greed has arrived to possibly try and help out here. Flash kick. Is it going to be enough to take down Dagus? Oh, Sorlo has arrived. Dagus flashes away under his tower, and it actually looks like he's going to be able to escape. They do have Ryze ultimate, but
it's like I was saying whenever we were remaking 4 times or whatever. Even if they visit top lane, there's nothing is going to make a difference, because even if they were to get the kill on the Maokai there, he's already so tanky that it doesn't matter. And they weren't even able to get the kill. They had 8 or 9 seconds there where to free hit the Maokai, and he still only went down to half health. No mana. You know? He had no mana at the start of that.
Otter is going to get caught here as TRL tried to go for the Rift Herald and will lose his life, as well as the Rift Herald, as Greed is just forced to ward hop over the wall there, and just more resources getting poured into No Name Necessary. They actually were able to secure the Cloud Drake, so they now have 2 elementals to their name, as well as that recently acquired Rift Herald. So they can certainly just look to continue to take towers here and build on this already monstrous lead they have at about 17 minutes into this game.
Yeah, and the next dragon's going to be Infernal. So at this point, if No Name Necessary manages to get double Infernal on top of the cloud that they already have over Team Royal Luck, I mean, this game is just looking really not good. Their only chance is getting a pick on the Kog'Maw or on the Shyvana. But even Shyvana, they have to kite out the Shyvana in the team fight, you know? And kiting her out, I mean, you have the Rice done. It's just really good 4-man top by this. They force all 4 members to share farm, where it's better for No Name Necessary because they're making the proactive plays, whereas Team Royal Luck has to react, and they don't want to be sharing farm. They want to be catching up in XP. Look, almost all of the players for Team Royal Luck are behind in levels and behind in gold, so they want to be farming sideways and spreading out the gold and XP. Whereas No Name Necessary, they're looking to push the lead even though they don't have to.
Yeah, No Name Necessary looking to push this middle lane. Going to take this tier 2 tower for free. TRL can't even contest that one, just back away.
And Kog'Maw has the Ginsus. You have the Haunting guys and Morello on Orianna. You have the Spirit Visage already completed. We almost have the Ardent Sensor done for Lulu. This is maybe a redemption. It's not. I keep revisiting this, but what is the win condition at this point for Team Royal Luck? How do they come back from this? You had to let the Tristana outscale.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hope for just a huge mistake.
Yeah, I
by
mean,
No
you
Name
have to
Necessary.
hope the Kog'Maw solo invades or something.
Good luck.
I don't see a lot of win conditions left for this team at this point.
Yeah, it just seems like it's just gonna be death by 1,000 cuts here for Royal Luck. 19 minutes into this game, and seems like they just may be doomed for a game 1 loss here, as No Name Necessary were able to take the early punches that TRL threw at them and respond pretty adamantly, starting with that Infernal Drake steal by Mephi, and just continued plays across the map.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's where this all got turned around, right? They did have a very good I think that Singrid played the levels 1 to 4 very well. He denied a bunch of farm from Mephi, from the Shyvana, who wants to scale. At this point, all M3 has to do is they could even take this Baron right now at 20 minutes because they have the Ardent Sensor, they have the Ginsus, they have the 2 items Shyvana already, 2 items on her. She is so strong. They can look to make a pick. They don't even have to make the pick. They could just do it. They would burn through this Infernal. Or through this Baron, I mean. They already have an Infernal. They don't need. It's actually kind of ridiculous. You'd have to be looking for a huge mistake from M3 to lose this one.
And they are going to clear out that vision and start the Baron at least. Now all ultimates are up for the side of Royal Luck, but are they even going to get in here fast enough? Their reaction seems to be very slow. Greed going to go in. Can he get the steal? He cannot. Pectus secures the Baron. And Greed will lose his life. Now Mephi going to try and chase down the backline here. Sai running away.
They don't have a lot. Now here's the thing, right? Maokai ult's already burned. The only thing they have left is Maokai's flash to get onto the team. That's the one thing that they have, is that they don't have a whole lot of engage. Maybe a shockwave, maybe a Maokai flash, or the ultimate. They don't have a lot of engage by N3, so they definitely need to be pushing objectives rather than looking for straight team fights. And Team Royal Luck can't engage on them, so that's exactly what N3 wants, is for Team Royal Luck to engage on them in a team fight. At this point, If I was on Team Royal Luck, I'd be looking for my next draft. Is what I'd be looking at right now. What went wrong and how you can improve. Because I think that the Kog'Maw and Shyvana just got so far ahead.
Certainly going to have to be some adjustments in draft. I would say allowing, you give that Kog'Maw up first pick, and then second rotation, they're able to secure a Lulu and an Orianna.
Yeah,
that
and the
plus
Orianna,
a tank is all you need for a Juggernaut comp.
Absolutely, and the Orianna wasn't even that big of a deal in comparison to just the Lulu. Like I was saying it for probably 20 minutes or so. I was telling you, I was like, they can't give up the Lulu, they can't give up the Lulu, and they're going for a pick here.
Yeah, Dagus very tanky though. Can he get away? Oh my gosh! Uses the blast cone there. Is going to try and retreat. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get away. His team just seems content to go to the bot side and take towers in turn for this aggression. This kill isn't going to net Royal Luck anything. They're just wasting so much time. They're going to lose their base in the time that they try to take one kill. Dagus will finally lose his life, a little bit of the BM with the emote, and there goes the bottom inhibitor for Royal Luck.
Yeah, they just traded 300 gold for Infernal and an inhib. And it's the bottom inhib, not the Baron's up or anything. Then either maybe do a 4-1 with the Maokai or the Shyvana mid lane, and then have the rest of the team members top, or even a 5-0 and just have everyone sitting top lane. With the mid inhib being, or with the bottom inhib being down, whenever Baron does decide to come back up, if this game is still going on at that point, then they could have so much pressure just from the super minions bot wave. And this game is looking really good by N3, honestly. I think they had a really good draft. The fact that they got Lulu Kog'Maw was huge, and the Orianna pick was pretty good, in my opinion. I think it was pretty good considering that I felt like they knew what they were going in for. They knew they wanted the Kog'Maw. They knew they wanted. I think it was just a really good draft, and they played it really well. They held on the rough 8 or 10 minutes that was at the beginning, and at this point, it's pretty easy for N3 to win this game.
Yeah, it seems like the Orianna was just kind of salt on the already open wound that was TRL's draft once they got the Kog'Maw and Lulu for no name necessary. And Kog'Maw is so strong, such a threat right now, and they're just going to be able to run over these towers. Psy forced to jump away. Here comes the ultimate. The shockwave will miss, but it doesn't matter. Myron Bro takes down the Shen. Otter running for his life. Mephi eating tower shots, but still able to get the double kill and back away. They're going to take this other inhib tower on the top side. Could possibly get an inhibitor. They still have 5 members here versus only 2 for Team Royal Luck.
Here for sure. I think that Shyvana actually should have been mid lane pushing, but the fact that they got 3 members down, they still have Shen coming up soon. They should at least get this inhib tower, or the Nexus tower. I think they should back out at this point. They don't want to throw this lead for no reason.
They could possibly finish. The carries aren't going to be up yet. They're going to go for it. The Nexus is half health. No name necessary is going to go in. They're going to go for the kills, but they will take game 1, the first win in ABL Season 3 to no name necessary.
Pre 25 minutes also. That's unheard of in this meta, where it's all about scaling, all about the late game, and the late game champions. And it's just a pre 25-minute game in this beginning of the season in 8.1 and 8.2 that's ridiculous. Like no game should be ending pre 25 minutes. Like I think that they definitely need to revisit their draft and revisit what they allowed to be given over. They allowed them to get Lulu Kog'Maw. I mentioned at the very beginning of our stream that Lulu Kog'Maw was going to be a huge duo, just like Nunu Azir. It's just they're going to have a lot to work on. I think that most of the problems came from the draft. Even if this is comfort picks, I don't like the Rumble. I don't like the Lee Sin. I think that the bottom 3 picks were really good by Team Royal Luck. I think the Tristana Shen bot lane was pretty strong, and I think that the Ryze pick is a good pick. But I don't like the Rumble Lee Sin. I think they need to change those 2 picks out. If they had maybe like a Trundle or Fiora in the top lane, something that could actually have kill pressure on the Maokai, then you have no risk of getting ganked on red side, even if you are on red side. I mean, as Mr. Otter, because you have a Shyvana. Shyvana's not going to be ganking, and yeah, I mean, I just think that the top 2 picks weren't the most optimal.
Good play across the board for No Name Necessary there, but I'd have to say pretty handily Mephi there, the MVP for that first game, 8-1-2 on the Shyvana, making the very key play there in the early game to get the snowball going for his team, stealing the Infernal Drake and getting the double kill, and then was just an absolute menace across the map for the rest of the game and really just dictated kind of the pace of play from then on. So certainly a hell of a game there from the No Name Necessary jungler as we do prepare to get into game number 2 of this series, with Team Royal looking to even this one up and force a deciding game 3.
Yeah, and I would definitely give him MVP just from the fact that he stole that first Infernal. I think that first Infernal would have gone so far for Team Royal Luck. If they would actually have gotten that, I think that they would have been able to snowball their lead. I think that if they didn't die at that Infernal and they had actually managed to get it, they would have been able to push their lead and maybe have a chance to win. Once they lost that first Infernal, the game was just out of hand at that point. And I would definitely agree. Mephi, definitely MVP on that one. Just a huge pick by the Shyvana.
And now, do we trying to see if we have to look? Oh, no, we don't. It's N3 versus TRL.
Oh, is that
That's the game, yeah. Okay. Now it looks like we will have sides swapped here, as Royal Luck will select blue side here for game number 2, so we will see No Name Necessary on the red side. It will be interesting to see the adjustments in draft for Royal Luck just based on game 1, and also what they prioritize for this first pick. Do they want the Kog'Maw for themselves? Do they leave that open and try and first pick it as well? And then possibly what kind of adjustments No Name Necessary wants to make based on moving over to the red side. Certainly could see a very different draft.
I don't even know if it's the Kog'Maw necessarily. I think it might just be actually the Lulu pick that's so key, because even if the Kog'Maw was given over, if you have the Lulu, you could still take the Varus, you could still take the Tristana, something else, the Twitch, something that scales very well with the Lulu. You could run the comp yourself that is the better team fight comp. You don't necessarily need the Kog'Maw. I think the Lulu pick either needs to be banned by TRL or they need to pick it up themselves.
What do you think of a Janna then paired with that Kog'Maw? I know she's not necessarily the same that she was when we were in the huge Ardent Sensor days of Season 7, but still quite the strong support. I mean, can you afford to take the Lulu and still leave that and the Kog'Maw up for No Name Necessary?
Yeah, so the Janna pick is strong, kind of, but it's in comparison to, say, the Lulu just has so much more damage, I guess I would say, in the lane phase, so they have a much higher priority in lane. Also, the thing about Janna though is that it's like a free redemption almost with their ults. So if you build redemption on Janna, then you have your ult and redemption. You're really good at team fighting. So you don't even have to worry about, in pro play they love to get Warmogs because of the Baron dance and stuff, but you don't even have to worry about that if you have a Janna on your team. You don't have to go Warmogs. You can go straight stats because you have the Janna. You have so much healing from her ultimate and from redemption. So it is a decent pick, but I think that in terms of laning priority, the Lulu is going to be better, and they can both definitely protect their AD carries very well.
All right, well, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of adjustments both of these teams make in draft for game number 2 here. We aren't going to see any substitutions, same lineups coming out, just swapping sides of the map here.
Yeah, and honestly, the only thing that I would have liked to see changed in game 1 is the top side for Team Royal Luck. Like I was saying, that the Rumble and the Lee Sin was just weird to me. I don't think Lee Sin is that good right now. There are just so many better picks. Even the Elise would have been a better pick because she is an AP jungler. The double AP comps are coming back and forcing it's forcing the enemy team to build MR, and then you have the Tristana who's gonna, whenever the enemy team's building MR, the Tristana's just gonna do so much damage. The Elise has really good pick potential with their cocoon. Even that would have been a better pick than the Lee Sin, I think.
Talk to me about top lane then. You don't like the Rumble. What do you want to see in the top lane then? If you can combo it with that same Ryze, Tristana, Shen on the bottom lane.
Like I was saying, I think Fiora or Trundle would have been good there. Something that can actually have kill pressure on the Maokai. And if not that, then you would definitely want to go for something that outscales the Maokai. Like a Gangplank would have been really good there. I think that the Gangplank who just wants to farm and then can actually do stuff in the team fights. Whereas in comparison with the Rumble, he uses the ultimate. If they have a Locket or Redemption, the Rumble ultimate's worthless. Well, there's a reason that Gangplank is meta right now. It's because he can survive the laning phase and he can outscale. And that's what the meta is right now. It's only outscaling. If Team Royal Luck can adapt to outscaling or scaling really strong into the late game, I don't think they stand a chance.
And you mentioned the Trundle, Fiora, or even the Gangplank. The other thing you get there too is map pressure. Trundle and Fiora are phenomenal split pushers, and that just adds another dynamic to that composition.
Yeah, and that's kind of the comp that they were running last game from Team Royal Luck. They wanted to go for the 1-3-1. They didn't get to that point. They were just stomped on so hard in the early game that they couldn't 1-3-1. It wasn't an option. The early Orianna, I mean, if I was Pectus, I'd be picking Azir here. Azir is just so good in Ori, and
yeah, both AD carries from last game actually banned away by the teams that played them.
Yeah. Oh, and Augus's Renekton is up.
Oh, and there's the Nunu, and you mentioned the Azir with that Orianna selected early.
Yep.
Good
and
priority there from No Name Necessary. They can take the Nunu now and wait to take the Azir if they want it with their third pick, considering they've already shown the Orianna.
Absolutely. And on the bright side, for TRL, they do select the Jarvan Ori here. I think that the Gnar would be really good here to make a strong triad top side. And the Gnar is pretty good in the Renekton. The Malphite, okay, this would actually give them a really strong team fight. Okay.
Oof. There's
really
so much
fight.
engage.
Now, the problem is that N3 can just ban out all the hyper carries, ban out Lulu Janna, and there's nothing you can do. There's the Azir, easy pick. Easy duo. They did better. They did better, but I don't think it is enough. I think that already this draft's over. The Nunu Azir was given over. It's just so strong. Just so strong.
Would you have just swapped out some of the bans? Maybe instead of banning Tristana and Sejuani, drop the Azir Nunu, or at least one of those?
Yeah, I mean, if you were planning on first picking Orianna, you had to ban Azir. Azir is so good in Orianna because his range, there's just nothing that the Ori can do. She uses too much mana trying to poke him out. The Azir is going to take presence of mind, and he can just spam his soldiers on her, and it's just not a lot he can do. The Zillion ban to me was super weird. I don't understand that one. The Lulu ban, I feel like they should have... I mean, I would say that they try to take it to themselves, but I guess that... It's good because if they got the Lulu on top of the Azir Nunu, it would have just been over. And Red Side has first pick after the ban phase. The Ashe, I mean, I feel like they're not even really banning. Like, I think that they're just kind of BM banning at this point. Because Zillion Ashe, I mean, I think this draft's over, in my opinion.
Now, what AD carry then are you shooting for here as TRL?
So
they do take the Janna.
The AD carries that are left up right now are Forest, in my opinion, would be probably the best AD carry that's available. Besides that, I mean, you have the Ezreal still, which is decent, but I don't think either team comp really wants Ezreal. Maybe N3's team comp would want Ezreal, something that can survive the lane phase. And I think that okay, the Jinx, we did see buffs for Jinx in this patch, so that's gonna be their win condition right now.
In more engage.
Yeah. The win condition now is the team fight. They did draft the team fight comp for Team Royal Luck, which I really like. The Zaya, okay, that's so Zaya's ult allows her to survive stuff like the engage from Malphite, the shockwave from Orianna, the engage from Jarvan. So I think Zaya was a decent pick. I still think the Ezreal might have been better, but the Zaya does scale harder. So Yeah, I mean, I would say overall good drafts from both teams. Definitely a huge improvement from last game for Team Royal Look, but the Nuno Azir being given over, I think was just too big. I think Pectus is too good of a player to give him Azir for free with the Nunu into a counter pick. I just Sorolo and Singrid are gonna have to play this very, very well, which we've seen Singrid do, but he's playing to Nunu, who is a great farmer, and it's gonna be all about how they play the early game here.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Zaya pick for Miran. Certainly good to avoid those initial engages, but I guess the one problem that the Zaya is going to have is there's so much engage, and you can't avoid all of it with your ultimate. I mean, as long as TRL does a good job of layering their CC, have the J4 engage initially, and then the Zaya would ultimate the flag and drag, but is still going to get caught in the Cataclysm, and then unless he has flash up, is going to get layered on by Alistar and Malphite in the Shockwave. So does have outplay potential, but he's going to be hard pressed to avoid all of the crowd control coming out from this lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. But luckily for them, they do have the Nunu. They do have the Azir wall. They do have the Janna. There's a whole lot of disengage from Team N3, which all of the engage drafted by TRL is countered by all of the disengage drafted by N3. And they also have pretty strong engage, honestly. They have the Shurima Shuffle, if they choose to use that offensively. They have Renekton, who can go in offensively. He's running Ignite right now, so I'm assuming he has Spellbook. He should be able to win this lane hard. He is on red side. Jarvan needs to be looking to camp this Renekton early, in my opinion. If you get the Malphite ahead, you put the Renekton behind, then there's nothing that he can do all game. The Renekton pick falls off. That's going to be your win condition in the early game, in my opinion. If your Renekton is just given a free lane, this Malphite's going to get zoned off CS. I've played against Darkus' Renekton. He is so good at it. You can't just let him have a free lane. He is, the Renekton is on red side. There is the tri-bush that you can gank from. The Nunu needs to be looking to play around top side. I think that Zaya Janna just naturally wins the bot lane. You got to leave them alone. Let the Nunu just counter gank the Jarvan. Azir wins lane, Renekton wins lane, left alone. I think that N3 drafted 3 winning lanes. The Nunu just needs to be there to counter gank. He needs to be there to farm, and he needs to be there for the late game to W the Azir, and it's over. For TRL, they need to be camping the Renekton, like I said. I think if they get the Renekton behind, the champion falls off, it's a 4v5. You force the Renekton to go full tank. You can't let him build damage. You can't let him be a split push threat.
The amount of trigger in in Twitch chat right now.
Zaya.
Zaya. Yeah.
Zaya.
In his ear. Let him say it how he wants it, guys. It's not a big deal.
Azir, Azer, I don't know how you want me to say it.
So I would certainly agree that this is a remarkably better draft from Royal Luck compared to their first game. I guess my question is, who do you think won draft this time? You get tons of engage built around a late game hyper carry for Royal Luck, and then plenty of disengage from the side of No Name Necessary here. So do you give one of these teams an edge? Is it even? I know it's going to depend heavily on how they play it out.
Absolutely. I think that the deciding factor here is if Team Royal Luck can get a pick on Azir.
Don't even try and adjust it, dude. Just call it how you say it.
If Azir uses his wall properly, then there's no way that Team Royal Luck should ever be able to get on him. If Team Royal Luck plays it well, though, Azir wastes his wall, then I think that getting the pick on Azir should be easy. They have the Jinx, the hyper carry. It should be free team fights for the side of Team Royal Luck. The problem is they just have so much disengage on the side of N3. It's gonna be a hard one for sure. But if they play it well, I think that Team Royal Luck can win if they play it well.
Well, there you have it, folks. We are into game number 2 here between Team Royal Luck and No Name Necessary. Both of these teams looking to secure their first win of Season 3 on the first day. No Name
And last
Necessary
time we
securing
saw-
it. Go ahead.
Last game we saw Team Royal Luck do a 5-man bottom lane. This time they're actually just going for more of a standard start. I'm interested to see if they're trying anything at all, or if both teams are just going to go for standard.
30
I
seconds
think
until
that
minions spawn.
in terms of level 1s, I would say that neither team really has a good invade. So, I mean, the standard start I would say is fine. They're actually totally mirrored. It's kind of funny.
Going to be interesting to see how Royal Luck adjusts playing a completely opposite composition this time around. They were in early game pick composition last time around. Now they're full-on team fight and looking to scale into the late game. So going to have to adjust their play style here and see just what they can do here to try and force this to a game number 3. We will see the junglers both look like they're starting on the top side of the map. And Nunu with that consume, a very healthy early jungler.
Yeah, it doesn't even need the leash, honestly. I like what Renekton's doing here. He's going in to see what Jarvan's doing. Because in what N3 is looking to do is actually force Jarvan to only farm bot side. So he's going to take Nunu's blue side, whereas Nunu takes Jarvan's blue side whenever we get into the laning phase. Because they just have such a strong top lane and such a strong mid lane. The only way that TRL wins this, like I was saying, was if they shut down the Renekton. If you force the Jarvan out of the top side of the map, then there's no way for him to shut down the Renekton. They are on red side with the Zaya Janna. They have a lot of good disengage. There's no easy gank paths for the Jarvan. That would be the way that I think that the junglers should play, is just Mephi, Pectus invading the top side. Don't let Jarvan get to the top side. Then Jarvan's forced to farm his bottom side only.
Alright, well, pretty standard first 2.5 minutes here. Zorlo trying to get a little bit of a push going in the mid lane and harass Pectus a little bit, but nothing much going here so far. Yeah, we could get an invade here, agreed.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that all 3 lanes from M3 actually just win on their own. So jungle pressure is going to be huge. Especially, I'm 100% sure that Azir wins versus Orianna. And if they're evenly skilled players, then nothing sways this matchup. The Azir should absolutely dominate the Orianna. The Renekton should have a field day if he's not gamed. The bottom lane, I mean, I would say depends on how well the Jinx plays and how well the Janna plays. We know that
Myron could be in big trouble here. Is going to get stunned. Can they get the first blood? Actually forced to flash away the ignite. Not enough. But both of the summoner spells down for Myron Brun. Traded for both summoners of the support for Royal Luck. So Greed could look to try and get a gank down to the bottom lane on that summonerless Zaya here in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, and we know that Jihoon Kim is actually subbing for Penguin right now. He's not actually there. So it really comes down to how he plays this. Because just because they have a good bot lane doesn't mean that he's going to play this perfectly, because he doesn't actually play support. At least not his main role.
Definitely an adjustment from the top lane, his natural position.
See, and now you see Mephi going into the top side jungle. He's invading Jarvan, Singreed's stuff, his Gromp on the top side. Once he takes this Gromp, if Singreed decides to come up here, there's not going to be any camps for him.
Greed is coming down to the bot side. Hex Flash. Oh, a good job from Little Favor there. And first blood over to Greed as he moves his way down to the bot side. Comboed with the Alistar. And the Zaya is dead. An early lead for Team Royal Luck.
Yeah, and honestly, Jihoon just was in a very bad spot. He was way too far up in that lane. Wasn't able to disengage the Alistar because the Alistar was behind him. The Alistar was between Janna and Zaya, whereas the Jinx was behind Janna. So it was like Jinx, Janna, Alistar, Zaya, and then the Alistar was allowed to just jump on Zaya for free. I'm sorry, maybe Zaya. I don't know how you want me to say it.
Say it however you need to. I know who you're talking about. Twitch
But
chat's always going to be triggered about something.
the supports had like swapped because Jihoon and Kim was so far up that there was no tornado to disengage the Alistar engage. Where it should have been. If the Alistar would have if the Alistar engage would have been stopped by the tornado, that gank would have never worked.
Yeah, with such an aggressive support on the enemy team as a Janna, you've always got to just be prepared to get that essentially instant tornado. Especially with an Alistar, it's pretty simple to do as long as you see him coming in with the headbutt pulverize. It's just as simple as pointing your Q right at them and activating it immediately, and essentially takes out that engage entirely very quickly. So a misplay certainly from the no-name necessary support.
Yeah, and Jarvan has not visited the top 7.
Ooh, here's the Hex Flash again from Little Favor, using that very effectively so far. Now the stopwatch has been used by Umayra. Can he run away? Sai, a little late to react there.
Yeah, and Sai is actually looking really good on this Jinx pick. We know that the champion just got buffed, but besides that little maybe brain dead moment, he's actually been looking pretty good on the pick. So they do have a good chance to win this bot lane 2v2, but I still think the solo lanes are winning 4 and 3.
Yeah, Greed is spotted out as he did move down to the bottom side, getting poked out a little bit by Mephi. Just going to force him back and discourage him from ganking his dual lane on the bot side that is already behind.
So I think that actually the bot lane of N3 has failed to recognize that Nunu has actually forced Jarvan not to go top side. The Jarvan has been sitting top lane or bot lane the whole time because their top trio is just so strong that Jarvan can't really go top lane. There's nothing for him there if it's played properly. So the bot lane for N3 has to recognize that and give up a little bit of pressure. They're playing like there's no pressure at all from the Jarvan, like this whole game. They can't play like that if they want to survive any of the ganks. They have to just sit back and let the top trio do their work. Farm passively.
Now, looks like Pectus on the Azir looking to get some possibly some vision out. Does he want to roam down to the bottom side? He is level 7, so he does have the Emperor's Divide available. Just looks like he wants to get some vision onto that Ocean Drake. Surprisingly enough, 8 minutes in, we have not seen anybody play for that Ocean. Nunu's such a strong, just strong play around those early neutral objectives, so going to be interesting to see if he tries to play aggressively for that here in the near future.
Yeah, and the thing with the Ocean Drake is, you know, M3 might like it just because of the poke for the bot lane. But honestly, I don't think either team was gonna want to spend the time on it just because if you have time to do the Ocean Drake, you have time to get a better objective. You have time to get a tower. You have time to be invading and taking away the blue buff. You have time to be doing something that's not the Ocean Drake. I don't think it's that high of a priority for either of these teams at this point.
Well, Mephi now passing that blue buff over to Pectus's Azir, so he can look to try and build more of a lead in the mid lane. At this point in time, sitting just about 200 gold, 200 and change ahead of Sorlo's Orianna. Bit of a CS lead, and that blue buff could help him build on the lead so far.
Yeah, and I mean, Azir should naturally just win this lane, like I was saying before. And the blue buff on Azir is actually huge because he's gonna have lower cooldowns, which his cooldowns on Azir are already pretty low, and his mana costs aren't that high either, especially if he has Manifold Band. So, and Presence of Mind. The Azir is actually really well off in this lane, and you actually see Mephi out farming Singreed by quite a bit. The gold is actually in Singreed's favor just because of the kill, but I mean, last game we saw Mephi get what, 3 levels on Singreed, and if that happens again, that's really scary because that's 3 levels in Nunu's W that are gonna be buffing up the Azir.
Yeah, already has a 1-level lead. Just over 10 minutes into this game, and it looks like they will possibly meet up here in the river. Sorlo working his way down here. They do not have eyes on the Nunu as we do get a duel in the top side. Dagus has activated his ultimate. Doesn't look like he's going to have enough damage, but will force Mr. Otter to back up to his tower. Now does Singri go for the collapse?
Doggett' pressure in this lane is actually not nearly enough. In my opinion, he needs to be looking. He's always having Mr. Otter push in, so he needs to be looking to push and roam as a top laner, push and roam mid. That's going to be the one that he does.
We might get a collapse here. Good shockwave. Will catch two. Headbutt. Pulverize. Now Mephi activates the ultimate. This is going to be able to escape, but Mephi may lose his life, but Little Favor is the only close member. And No Name Necessary actually able to escape without giving up a kill despite the good engage there from Royal Luck.
Yeah, but they do burn both effective summoners. They have a Jarvan, they have an Orianna Shockwave. That's huge. Gank the Azir. You have 5 minutes to come back to this Azir and kill him.
Yeah, and the Orianna's Shockwave is already a third of the way off of cooldown, so that will be available very, very soon.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a great wombo from TRL, in my opinion. Like, Janus slows.
Ooh, Sai lucky to land that trap onto Myron there. Could have been in big trouble.
Absolutely. If he wouldn't have, that probably would have been a death for Sai. But yeah, I mean, that wombo is exactly how Team Royal Luck needs to be playing this game the entire time. Because if they can continue to do that throughout the mid and late game, then I absolutely believe Team Royal Luck will win this. Especially because right now they don't do a lot of damage, but you know, if this was in 10 minutes and they got that wombo on Azir, Azir would have died. You know, like if they had more damage, Azir would have been dead there, and that's their main hyper late game carry. Renekton, not a late game carry. I mean, Zaya, she scales okay, but one carry versus, you know, Malphite, one AD carry versus Malphite, Alistar, Jarvan, you're not going to be doing too much damage. You need the Azir in these team fights.
Little Favor going to get spotted out by that Tri-Brush ward. Will clear it out. Has his normal flash available, so I would expect him to look for another aggressive play here on the bottom side very soon. Both of the junglers are around their top lanes right now. Go ahead.
I like what Pectus is doing here. He's getting the lane pushed out early. Nunu needs to be getting inside the top side jungle of Jarvan. He's pushing out the lane while Sorolo is roaming around in the jungle for pretty much no reason. Like now Pectus actually has roam priority. He can move to the river first. They need to be invading as a 2-man or 3-man even with Doggett into the top side and denying Jarvan this blue buff.
Sai needs to be careful here. Is trying to take the 2v1. Oh, this could be a huge misplay. His support isn't here. Myron gonna activate the ultimate. Forces the flash out of Sai. That's just way too over-aggressive. Oh, good ultimate from Jihoon there as Little Favor goes for the headbutt pulverize and is knocked away by the Janna ultimate. And let me count. And that's actually a 2-for-1 summoner trade in... No, 2-for-2 summoner trade. Both of the summoners of Jihoon going down in exchange for both of the flashes of the TRL bottom lane. So an interesting play there as Sai staying way too far up with his support moving upriver.
Yeah, and Janna's super easy to gank. Jarvan is bot side. Janna has no ult. She has no exhaust, no flash. So this could be a good gank.
Here comes the Hex Flash. He's going to go in. Headbutt pulverize, and Myron flashes away. The flag and track misses, but here comes Mr. Otter, the unstoppable force, and you, Myron, bruh, is dead. Now they could
look TRL there.
Yeah,
I really like that a lot.
Comboing the engage. A Little Favor has been using that Hex Flash so well. Just getting out of vision and then closing the gap. Now Green and Mephi going to possibly battle over this blue buff. The ultimate has been activated. Oh, but the shockwave. Oh, good headbutt pulverize. Now Pectus going to use the Emperor's Divide, and that will force Team Royal Luck to back away. Now do they go for the chase? Sai has arrived. Mephi forced the flash over the wall. And there is no ultimate for the Jinx, so looks like Pectus To get away, will get actually knocked up. Oh, a great flag and drag. Forces out the heal, and Sorolo will take the kill. Good job from Greed there to get onto the no-name necessary mid laner. And now Jihoon's stepping up too far. Stopwatch forced out, but his life is gone. Dagus now forced to flash back under his tier 2 tower. And a great play there. 3 kills in favor of Royal Luck.
This Orianna pick is coming up huge in my opinion. He's had several great shockwaves. I mean, I was a little bit doubting because I thought the Azir should win the 1v1. He does win the 1v1, but he's been playing this Orianna. He's in the team fight so well with the shockwaves, with his speed up from his W. It's actually really impressive by Sorolo in comparison to last game. Just a totally different environment. They drafted a better team fight, and now they're just so far ahead. And you know, these teams both scale pretty well, except for the only thing is that Pectus needs to be able to do a lot of damage in team fights, or else I think Team N3 just loses team fights without Pectus. Like, if he gets picked off early, they lose. And so far, they've been doing a great job of killing Pectus early. And I mean, I really like what I'm seeing here from Team Royal Luck. We might actually get a good series from this in comparison to how it looked in the first game.
Yeah, the response from Team Royal Luck so far has been resounding. They're demanding respect right now and playing this team fight in heavy engaged composition very well. A 4-0 lead in kills. We're able to take down the first tower and now going to look to build about a 2,500 gold lead here. Just under 17 minutes into this game now. Possibly a collapse on the top side. Mephi has arrived. Ooh, this could be a bait, though. Sai has arrived. Good ultimate from Mr. Otter. There's the flag and drag. Will cancel the Nunu ultimate. He's going to go down. Dagus has activated ultimate, but it will not matter. Stopwatch doesn't matter either. That was just a waste. And Sai will get the kill. Ooh, the shockwave on the bottom side. You, Byron, bro. It's not going to be enough. Ooh, heal. Flashes away. Can he actually escape? Here comes the Janna.
Wow, great. Wow. Okay, this is really, really good by Team Royal Luck.
All across the map, a little favor going in on Pectus, going for the 1v1 as the Owlstar uses the Ignite. Pectus is very low, and the snipe from Sai, the Super Mega Death Rocket takes the kill, 7-0 in favor of Team Royal Luck.
Way better game than Team Royal Luck. A million times better. I was worried this was going to be a shutout, honestly. I was like, I can't see with the way they played in Game 1 this being a competitive Game 2, but I was wrong for sure. This is amazing play from Team Royal Luck. They're making no name necessary. It's like they swapped players, honestly, like from the first game. It's incredible, actually. This is looking like a way cleaner game. Sai looks really good on the Jinx. Singri looks really good on the Jarvan. I mean, this is a very, very good game from Team Royal Luck. I don't like the Renekton pick. It hasn't come through at all for this team, for Team N3. And the Zaya and the Azir, the Azer, have both died a lot of times, you know? Like, this Jarvan is making the picks that he needs to make. The Orianna is having great shockwaves in every team fight. The rotations are on point. They were there in the top lane. Why was Jinx top, you know? That's what I would be saying in my game if I was Renekton going all in on the mouth fight. It's like, why is Jinx top right now, you know? And he was just there, and they managed to turn around the gank. And truly, like, just great play from Team Royal Luck.
Yeah, one key stat here. Both the Jarvan, Singreed's Jarvan and Sai's Jinx, involved in 6 out of 7 kills apiece. They have been just moving all across the map and really have put this team on their back so far. Playing very well now. Mephi will use his ultimate to just clear out the wave, but it doesn't matter. The tower will go down thanks to the charge from the Rift Herald. And
yeah, there's the ultimate tower. That was good to deny the rest of the Rift Herald. It can't charge again.
Yeah, the Azir passive will help them stall the push from Royal Luck, but mid-tier 1's down, so I would say mission accomplished for Royal Luck. They will move on to the Cloud Drake here, their second elemental of the game. They could lose their mid lane tier 1, however, and not a bad trade there for No Name Necessary.
Absolutely not. I think that was actually pretty key. The mid tower is a huge objective for any team. You're not like getting vision in the mid lane to see where everyone's rotating around. It looks like Team Royal is actually looking for a fight here. They're chasing all across the map looking for a fight.
All of their ultimates are available Righteous
They
Glory
could just turn
activated
on
by
this
Mr.
Baron.
Otter.
Team's turret has been destroyed.
They could definitely just turn on this Baron.
Yeah, there's no vision. They will get
Nunu's
spotted out by the
bait.
blue trinket, but it doesn't matter.
The only thing that they have going here is they need to finish it before the Nunu gets here. They don't have any Infernals. They don't have any Earths. Great shockwave.
Ooh, good shockwave.
Oh my
Azir
God.
knocked back into the
Wow.
pit. A great play by a little favor. They haven't secured the Baron yet, but they have secured the kill on the mid laner. And now the Baron will go over to Greed. This is a huge play from Royal Luck. Are they going to be able to chase down Dagus? Not yet. Ooh, Myra Bro trying to run away, but the Cataclysm will catch him, and Sorlo gets his 3rd kill of the game. Baron plus
This
3.
Alistar, for sure, is coming through so hard. A little favor is playing this Alistar so well. So well. And that play for Team Royal Luck was just huge. You know, Dagus is there trying to stop the wave so that they can't push, but it's not enough. There's no way that he can stop it. It's the Renekton pick, I think, was just bad. I mean, he wasn't able to create anything early, and I think the macro game that Team Royal Luck is playing is just incredible.
And gotta mention a phenomenal shockwave there from Sorlo. Ooh, good flash from Sai to avoid the Emperor's Divide. They're saving his life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that would have been an easy kill. But Sorlo placing that ball over on the other side of Baron Pit as Azir was trying his best to poke out the members of Royal Luck and was able to grab 2 with that shockwave. And then, yeah, you mentioned a little favor with the great headbutt pulverized combo over the wall to help secure those kills. A huge play, and great with the Hex Flash, great with the headbutt pulverized plays, and this support is just playing out of his mind this game. Great play across the board for TRL.
Yeah, and I don't understand how the Nunu lost the Baron there. You know, Nunu's Q does like 1,200 damage to a Baron, and there should have been no way he was there. And like you were saying about the placement of the ball, it was actually amazing because the ball gave Rance vision over the wall. They could actually see the enemy team there instead of just seeing the Azir soldiers in the pit. It was looking like it could have been well played by N3 there with the Azir, but with the Azer, but you know, I mean, they're just, the macro for Team Royal Luck this game is on a total different level than it was last game.
Now, it looks like they want this tier 2 on the top side. They have moved 4 members up there, while they do have Mr. Otter down in the bottom lane trying to push those waves with Baron buff. Now, did they go after Mephi here? A little favor goes in with the headbutt pulverized combo. Cataclysm is available for Singreed, and also very key, the teleport available for Mr. Otter, so he can join his team on the top side at any time if he chooses so, but doesn't look like he'll need to. He's just solo in the bottom side, and looks like he's going to get some free damage onto this inhibitor tower.
Yeah, and there's nothing that the 5-man unit can do against the 4-man with the Baron. This Malphite is free to split push, even though he doesn't do that much tower. They have the Baron buff, all they need. You know, the Renekton can't 1v1 this fight. There's no way he gets a kill. The Malphite should be able to ult away. He has flash. He's fine. You know, now the 4-man unit gets free reign on the top side. This is really, really great macro from Team Royal Luck. Totally different game. Totally different team, I should say, from what we saw the first game. At least that's how it feels spectating.
Yeah, Mr. Otter really not even concerned with the Renekton as he just continues to escort Baron up minion waves into that bottom inhibitor tower.
Alright, now the rest of the TRL is backing, so make sure the Malphite backs too. Yeah, if he would, it would have been a huge mistake if he stayed. That gives N3 a chance to get a pick. I mean, just great macro, honestly. I want to know who's shot calling on this because it's just a way better game. I don't know what changed besides the comps in between these games, but they look a million times better. They look like actually a really, really good team in this game in comparison to last.
Yeah, seems like Royal Luck was able to do a good job of, you know, assessing what went wrong last game and then putting that out of their mind. It doesn't seem like they have been affected at all by how badly they lost in that first game, and they've come out extremely confident and are playing very well to their win conditions in the second game and looking to force this series to go the distance.
Yeah, and we have the Mountain Drake coming up pretty soon. That's going to be huge for pushing this objective, for getting the next Baron. You know, it's 6 towers to 1. That is such a huge lead in gold for team wide. There's fighting over jungle farm here because there's no gold to go around 4 and 3. There's nothing that they can do to come back in this. Like the team fight from TRL is just so strong. And the team fight 4 and 3 would be just as strong if they were even, but they're not. The Jinx is so strong. The Orianna Shockwaves have all been amazing. The Jarvan is playing out of his mind. It's really well. And the Malphite ult is just unmatched by anything in the game because, you know, Malphite ult is Malphite ult. You know, you press R. And
that's about the best way you can put it, honestly.
You can put the Orianna ball on Malphite. He ults in, and then you press R on Ori, and they just have such a strong team fight.
And there you go, the Mountain Drake. Third elemental there for Royal Luck. Now going to look to push on the bottom side. Don't have that Baron buff anymore, but as you mentioned, the strong team fighting and the lead that they've been able to build up. Just about 8,000 gold. 8.5 at this point.
And the Baron is gone here, so they can't actually push up too hard. What I would actually probably like to see in terms of macro is they have this big top wave forming. They could actually stay bottom, maybe send one person middle to push out the wave. Then they have 3 waves crashing at the same time. There's no way that all 5 members could stay in the bottom lane. I would like to see 4 of them stay bottom, have 1 person push down mid, and then have all 3 waves collapse at the same time. That would be the most ideal thing. Then they're guaranteeing getting at least 1 tower. And they don't actually need the inhibs. They just want towers, especially if they could get the bot tower and the bot inhib. That would be the most ideal because Baron is coming up in less than 1 minute. The super minions bot lane is just so much pressure that they have to send someone bot lane. They can't react to Baron. It's a 4v5 at Baron. They have a Nunu. Team Royal Luck has to care that they have a Nunu. You know, the Nunu Consume does, what, 1,200, 1,300 damage at this point in the game?
And Mephi's already shown in this series that he is proficient on these neutral objective steals. Getting that Infernal Drake in game 1, he could certainly do it with a stronger stealing champion in the Nunu. So they are certainly going to have to respect what he can do. Looks like they're going to go for the bait here, possibly the Fnatic Death Brush. Dagus could be caught. Little Favor does reveal a little early.
Ali has his actual flash up at this point, not just his hex flash. And look at the bot wave collapsing in. Team No Name Mystery actually has to react either to the bot wave or they have to force a fight around Baron. Mr. Otter does have his TP. I would have liked to see him pushing up the bot wave, but it's fine either way at this point just because of how many minions are stacked up in that bot wave. The vision denial is perfect here from Team Royal Luck. Look, and they're going for it. The only thing that I'm worried about is that they still have the blast plant. Nunu has a way over the wall.
They're taking this down fairly quickly, though. They're ready to pull off.
In here, tower.
Ooh, and they do spot Azir on the bottom side, so they say, let's fight. Dagus has been caught by a little favor. This is the flash over the wall, but actually will be able to secure the kill. Can they chase down Myron, bruh?
Their ult's gone. The Renekton's dead. There goes the blast plant. Let's just turn on the Baron. Take it out.
And kill the 4 wards in the back of the pit.
Yeah, they only have to kill the control because the other 3 wards don't have vision. Look, Zaya's bot side. She has to deal with this wave. It was just great minion control.
And a phenomenal job from a little favor there, just denying Mephi from getting the pit. Headbutts him away, pulverizes him, uses a stun. Mephi had no chance to get in there for the steal, so a great play from the support to help his team secure their second Baron of the game, looking to break the base.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that's a free double in him at the very least. There's no way that they can test. The shockwave's back up. The only ult that's not up, besides the Ali ult and the Malphite ult. So they don't even need the Malphite ult. If they put the ball on the Jarvan, he engages. It's a 1-team fight. Zaya has no ultimate. Nunu has no ultimate.
Dagus wants this fight. A little favor goes in. Oh, the shockwave catches 4. The Emperor's Guide is going to push them back. Azir forced the flash away. Good job from Myron, bro. They are responding a little bit here, but he's going to go down. It does not matter. They're going to take the second inhib. Yeah. Can they look for the base? Not yet, but a good fight. 2 for 3 there in favor of Team Royal Luck.
Like I said, at least 2 inhibs. Oriana's still alive. They won that. Once again, sure, Sai goes down, but they got what they were looking for in the double inhib. At this point, they can send 5 people bot. They can shop now. They had so much gold saved up from the Baron, from the double inhib, from the 2 team fights that they fought in between that time. It's so much gold spent in that time. Now they're going to come back even stronger, whereas N3 didn't get to buy anything between that last team fight and the one that's about to happen. They have the blue buff coming up, the red buff's up for TRL. It's looking so good for this team at this point in the game.
That was just a beautiful shockwave there from Sorlo, continuing to be on point with his ball placement and catching out multiple members in these fights with those shockwaves.
I'm so impressed by Sorlo's Oriana, honestly. He's honestly hit so many clutch shockwaves at this point in the game. I mean, I can count at least like 4 that we've seen that, you know, like the direct camera has actually shown us that were amazing, you know, like they hit exactly where they needed to. He's whiffed a couple, but who doesn't? It's on such a low cooldown. It's at like 45 seconds, maybe a minute. It doesn't even matter, you know, like the ultimate from Oriana is just so impactful. They have such good engage.
They are going to go in and catch Mephi here. Ooh, forced the flash away, and the ultimate from Jihoon with the disengage. Oh, here comes Mr. Otter. Catches 2 with unstoppable force. Down goes the Nunu. So is the Renekton. Good as... Yep. Sai forced to use the stopwatch, but it doesn't matter. The engage goes in. Singreed takes down Jihoon. Myron Bruh is dead. Now all that's left is Azir, and it's not going to be enough. They're going to go in, clear out the minion waves, and with Baroned up supers, they're going to take down these towers and take us to game number 3. What a hell of a game from Royal Luck. Can they secure the last kill? They will. Pectus goes down in the ace. 19-4 in kills, 10-1 in towers, and Royal Luck gets us to game number 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that every single player from TRL looked amazing this game. Sure, the Malphite was down in farm, but he's farming against Renekton. You know, Renekton's supposed to bully you. The Renekton pick did not do enough for me to justify it. I mean, even if he is a one-trick, it's, you know, the Renekton pick is, it has to get ahead. Whenever he picked the Malphite, he wasn't planning on dying to the Renekton. It can't get ahead as the Renekton. You're fine. Like, the team can just outscale. They won on the other side of the map. The bot lane, the Jinx was winning. You know, the Oriana shockwaves were on point. It won all the early and mid game fights. The question is, are they going to... They could easily leave the Renekton open, but would Doggus still want to take it? You know, at this point, like, is the Renekton worth taking? Because even if it is his best champion, at this point, if he can't get any kill pressure, are they going to ban the Malphite? I believe they banned Malphite in game 1, but banning Malphite just seems like a waste of a ban. You know, whenever there are just so many good top laners, like, just a way better game from Team Royal Luck and a way better draft. And if they continue this, I don't think that N3 stands a chance in the third game. Like, if they continue in this trend.
I can tell you, based on what we've seen so far, I have no idea what's going to happen in this next draft. But I certainly can see the next draft being a heavy influence. And, you know, they've been so... It's been so interesting coming out of the drafts for both of these games and essentially feeling like we knew who had won the draft and just seeing how it played out and the huge flip-flop there and how these games went, and Royal Luck being so resilient and coming out and absolutely crushing this second game here. Certainly shaping up to be a hell of a game 3 to finish off this series, as we will prepare to get into game number 3. I do want to hear from you. You said, you know, everybody, and I agree, everybody on Royal Luck played so well in that game. Would you give the MVP to a little favor, playing very well on that Alistar, utilizing the Hex Flash as well as his head, but pulverized combo on so many occasions, or, you know, the clutch shockwaves coming out from Sorlo? I mean, Greed was very, very good in the early game and helping them build that lead. I certainly would say it's difficult to pick who was the MVP in that first time, or in that second game, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what it comes down to with MVP, Sorlo looked amazing. He hit all the clutch shockwaves that they needed. Singreed had great engages on the Jarvan. He had great Jarvan ults. He was locking down the Zaya so that even her ult didn't matter. But But a little favor was just out of this world on that Alistar. He looked so good. I I just can't see any reason why he wouldn't get it. I mean, all the way even from lane phase, whenever he was managed to find himself between Janna and the Zaya to get the engage to get that first blood from the Jarvan onto the Zaya. I mean, really well played by the Alistar for sure. I mean, yeah, just a great Alistar game. Great shockwaves. I mean, amazing. Honestly, I'm very impressed by Team Royal. Like, I was not expecting that whatsoever going into this game.
Certainly love the early support. Love coming out on the stream in just game 2. But a hell of a game played by TRL there across the board. And good job by a Little Favor being such a big part of getting his team that win. And we will prepare and get ready for game number 3 here momentarily. So stick with us here, folks, for just another moment. Dang it. I'm not used to this having to like find the custom game thing. Is it N3 again?
Yeah,
N3
is
it is.
game 3. Yeah, and if anyone in Twitch chat has any like actual like decent feedback on my casting, this is my first time doing it. Besides, you know, like the way I pronounce champion names,
Yeah.
I'd definitely be interested in hearing what you people have to say. You know, I'm mostly here just to provide analysis as the color caster, rather than the play-by-play. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested in anything that people have to say besides you know, champion analysis.
I will say personally, I love what you're doing so far.
Wow, I appreciate it.
No, doing a great job. A lot of in-depth analysis, a lot to say, helping fill airtime. So I certainly don't know what I'm talking about ever. So got to have somebody here who knows what the hell's going on.
All right, so you want me to say? I would say Xerath, not Zerath. I think Zerath is a terrible way to pronounce it.
I say Xerath,
God damn it.
not Zerath.
Xerath. It's definitely Xerath.
Y'all are all weird.
It's Xerath? Hell no.
Xerath? That's wrong. I think we can all agree that's wrong.
Yeah, I would. That's as bad as the Rumble Pick game 1.
Ooh, jeez. The flame. I pronounced the X like the letter X. So are you Exathas then?
No, I think you meant on the Xerath.
I know.
Exathas though. I like it. I don't know what we're waiting on. Yeah.
Just waiting on Jihoon Kim to hop on in here and get this game going. We will see no name necessary. Swapping back over to the blue side.
Excuse me.
So will Royal Luck allow that Kog'Maw through this time around? Or are they going to ban it away and look at a strong first rotation?
I think the Lulu ban was key for TRL. I think that TRL needs to have the Lulu banned again. I think that you can just give up the Renekton to Doggus, especially if they let you have an all fight. Even if I think that the Maokai would have actually been a better pick for N3 in the second game. If they would have had Maokai versus Malphite, they would have actually had something useful in the top lane. You know, it's just I feel like these teams, their top lane picks just don't make sense to me. Like there are just so many useful top laners that aren't being Use, there's Gnar, there's Camille, Gangplank. These are the S tier top laners. Why are none of these teams picking them? If you're not gonna pick them, pick a tank. That is it. Like, there's a reason that the meta is the meta. You know, these champions are effective, whereas Rumble and Renekton are not. I mean, even if they are comfort picks, it's not hard to be effective on something like a Gnar. You know, it's not hard to be effective on a Maokai or an Ornn. It just doesn't make sense. Like, they need to clean up the top lane picks. I think whoever picks the better top laner is going to win. I really like the Malphite pick. It's not meta, but it's a tank in comparison to where Renekton has to win lane. You know, you never saw the Renekton getting any ganks. The Renekton did not get ahead of the Malphite. He could not win the 1v1. It was just a weird pick. You know, I didn't agree with it. Even if it is his best champion by far, you could have just picked the tank and it would have been way more effective for team fights. It would have been way more effective in the 1v1. There was just no kill pressure, and that's what Renekton needs. And even with the Summoner Spellbook and Ignite, he still didn't kill him. You know, he didn't. There was a straight 1v1 throughout most of the early laning phase. It was straight 1v1. He had Ignite, still no kill. I mean, maybe that is props to Mr. Otter, but I feel like it was just a bad pick. If you're not picking one of the big three, I think you need to pick a tank. That's my personal opinion. It's the only way that the top lane's going, and I think that the top lane picks have lost both teams, both games. Also, the Lulu, big champion. Most AD carries are I like both the AD carry picks in the last game. The Zaya and Jinx are both good. I think that honestly, Sai looked so good on that Jinx. I don't know if they actually want to give it to him again, but I think maybe the Kog'Maw ban was good. Maybe, I don't know how much was the Kog'Maw and how much was the Lulu. It could have just been the fact that they had Lulu is why Kog'Maw was so far ahead, but maybe it was because of the Kog'Maw himself. Kog'Maw is a very strong champion. He spikes so hard at one item. You know, the Ginsu is all you need is Kog'Maw, but the Jinx is so good late game. So it's a hard call. I'm interested to see what the teams plan on banning this game. If you want to take the Renekton for Doggus, then you're gonna have to ban the Malphite because you have to have kill pressure. But even if you ban the Malphite, what if they take Maokai or Ornn? You know, like.
Yeah, I would lean more towards you can't take the Renekton.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. If I can't believe neither of these top laners have picked Gnar, Gangplank, or Camille yet. Honestly, that's where I'm at. It's like these are the three best top laners in the game.
I feel like Gnar should be the biggest pick right now. Like, solid laning phase, good bit of poke to kind of bully in early, and great team fights. Like, he just scales well into team fights. You can also split push with him if you buy that frozen mallet and play for the 1v1. Like,
yeah,
he's such a versatile champion that I feel like he should be such a highly prioritized pick.
And even with Gnar, like, you can build stuff like the Bloodthirster or the Runeans just to get so far ahead in the 1v1 that there's nothing that the enemy top laner can do. You know, you don't have to go a traditional teamfight pick if you just want to split push. And it's just so versatile of a champion, and I can't believe we haven't seen it here. And just a little update on the Schism versus Full Sun Gaming. I just got word that Schism actually 2-0'd in that series. So, for those interested. But yeah, I mean,
Schism,
the big three. the big three. I just can't see why these teams are avoiding those three champions in the top lane. Something else that we haven't seen so far is Zac. It's been banned both games. I want to see Zac actually taken. Tom Kench is another big pick that we haven't seen at all. I believe it was banned in one of the two games. Braum, we haven't seen it all. 0 pick ban presence. The Azir actually failed. The Zoe hasn't seen any play. I'm pretty sure Pectus can play Zoe. I mean, he's a pretty good player. I'd imagine that he knows how to play. Don't know a whole lot about Zorolo's champion pool. We know that he's good at the Orianna. Are you going to let him get Orianna again? You have blue side, but if you first pick Orianna, what are you leaving up for red team to take? Kog'Maw, Lulu, Nunu, Azir. There are just so many good picks up that can respond from the Ori. It's going to be interesting to see what these teams decide. You have to plan it out in advance. You have to plan out the entire pick ban. What is the enemy team going to take? You know, it's I don't know. It's going to be very, very dependent on the pick ban, I think, because so far both games, the person that I said won draft won the game. You know, so it's actually like a lot bigger of a deal than I think a lot of people think, even in gold plat and with comfort picks. Like, just the power picks are power picks for a reason. I think either team picks up one of the top 3 top laners or plays anything that's not one of them or a tank, then they just lose. I'm not sure why we're still waiting.
Yeah, we are going to take a momentary break here as we do try to resolve what is delaying this game number 3, folks, but stick with us momentarily. We will be right back.
Hello, ABL.
Yeah, they can hear us now. Good job.
Hello, ABL. We are into Game 3 of Team No Name Necessary versus Team Royal Luck. We are into pick and ban.
We have done it. We made it.
I can't believe it, honestly.
After 3 remakes.
And probably hours.
All right, both teams. So you ready? Are you guys ready?
What are you doing in here,
Get
bro?
out of here.
Oh,
We're
well-
casting.
What a power abuser, am I right?
Was that Krish?
Yeah. Yeah, Schism did win their series 2-0. That's the news on the other series that was going on.
Just 2-0'd, I heard.
Yeah, 2-0. Apparently, it was pretty dominant. Apparently, Full Sun Gaming was also drafting early game comps, which, in case you haven't learned yet, people watching, is a mistake. Do not draft early game comps in a late game meta. We see the Orianna ban, the Kog'Maw ban. First pick, Jarvan for Mephi. Okay. Already with the strong engage. There's no Orianna to pair up with it. The first pick, Ali, maybe? Yep, for a little favor. That's such a good champion. And the question is, what do they respond with? Jihoon Kim isn't auto-filled support player. He's not actually a support player. Do they respond with the Janna again? We all saw how that went game 1. The Lulu's up, but can he counterplay the Alistar even with Lulu?
We're going to have to find out.
Maybe. And the Ashe, I guess he wasn't troll banning in the first game when they were banning Ashe.
I don't know why you were pushed to talk. Apologies for some technical difficulties we're having here with the Discord server, folks, but let me try and figure this out. Just rejoin. Yo, who is messing with my channels?
Your emperor shall return.
Zoob, can you hear me, my man?
I can hear you.
There we go. We got you. We got you. We're fixed.
Okay, so we have the Alistar, the Ashe. The Ashe is so weird to me. And then they have the Jhin on the other side. We're back to the utility 80 carry meta so randomly. Where in the world is the Tristana? Where? Okay. Where's the Ezreal? You know, like, both teams have utility 80s with lockdown, but they both also have 2 tanks at this point. It's just weird. There's the Talia ban. I like the Talia ban. So much roam pressure. The Malzahar and Azir, I wouldn't be surprised to see a 6th mid lane ban, 7th, 8th mid lane ban at this point. So far, Team N3 has really strong engage and really strong lockdown, as well as TRL. They both have crazy lockdown, crazy engage. The Echo ban, I don't know if that was panic or if that was plotted, but we haven't seen Echo at all this series, so we will find out. What do they pick here, right? We need damage on the side. We need a strong damage, either mid or top. We have tanks, we have lockdown. Ashe doesn't provide as much damage as a Tristana or Kog'Maw does. And another tank! Okay, so what do you pick here? Do you pick Fiora? Can Doggus play Fiora? Can Doggus play Gangplank? Can we see something with damage?
we're gonna have to find out here. You did mention that they should take the Maokai on the side of TRL, and they will grab it. Interestingly enough, the Lulu not banned here and hasn't been picked yet.
Yeah, and They
gotten
both
all the
already
way through
took
draft.
engaged supports, and there's no damage on the side of N3. Why are they drafting like this? There's just no damage. If they don't pick something like an Azir here, which is already banned, I don't understand.
Or on the
What are
side
you
of
gonna take?
Royal Luck.
Yeah, on the side of Royal Luck, what are you gonna take here? What provides enough damage for this team?
The Azir is banned as well, and it's gonna have to deal
Yeah.
with a LeBlanc. Oh wow!
The Vigar. That is what I'm looking for. The damage. Vigar is going to do 90% of the damage in this game, I promise, dude. There's literally like no damage on either team. The LeBlanc is looking to assassinate either Ashe or Vigar, but if you assassinate either one of them, it's just tank versus tank. I don't know. It's just weird.
The Veigar is going to be very susceptible to this LeBlanc, too. Not very mobile, and if he doesn't drop the baby cage well enough, he could be in big trouble when Pectus comes in. And we saw in the Season 2 finals, Pectus very, very adept on this LeBlanc pick.
Yeah, absolutely. But once the Vigar, look, what Vigar has to do here, instead of going Rod of Ages, he just goes for the Abyssal Mask. What is the LeBlanc going to do against the Abyssal Mask? She does no damage to Vigar at that point, right? Then all you have left is tanks to deal with this Vigar. You press W on the Yorick or the LeBlanc, and that does like half their health at the very least. Or on the Jhin even. Like, Yorick is like a bruiser type champion, but I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with either draft. The only thing that they do have going for them is the split push from the Yorick. But they have like a 1-3-1, right? So Yorick, LeBlanc split push. Vigar, I don't know if he's running on Steel Spellbook, which would be the best keystone. If he's not, I mean, I don't know what to say. But if he's, the 1-3-1 is going to be pretty strong. They have good engage on both teams and also decent disengage on both teams, I guess. Really, TRL has really good disengage, and really good engage, whereas N3 has really good engage and decent disengage, if that makes sense. So TRL needs to be looking to force fights here, where N3 doesn't have as good as disengage, and N3 is looking to 1-3-1. So if the 5-man unit can collapse onto the N3 3-man unit, then it's still going to take them forever because they don't have damage. They can just walk up into the middle of the team fight from the 1-3-1 because it's just going to take so long to kill people. I like the Zac. I think Zac's such a good champion right now. He can, like, Jarvan ults onto someone, Zac just takes him out, you know, like he picks him up and puts him somewhere else, you know? So I think the Zac was a good pick, but man, just the low DPS from both teams is just a mystery to me. Yeah, I mean, Pectus was given LeBlanc, but what is LeBlanc going to do in this game? If Vigar survives? Yeah, if Vigar can survive long enough to get an Abyssal Mask, there's nothing LeBlanc can do. Literally nothing. Like, Vigar will not die once he gets Abyssal Mask. If he doesn't go Abyssal Mask, sure. I mean, that's just a misplay on Sora Lowe's part if he doesn't do that. But man, dude, I just don't understand the low DPS. We are in for potentially a very long game.
Yeah, I guess the one thing is TRL is set up a bit to make some early plays with the Elastic Slingshot on the Zac. Once Alistar gets the Headbutt Pulverized combo, he's going to be very strong, and Veigar can set things up with the Event Horizon. So they can look to build an early lead, and, you know, not terrible early crowd control from the side of No Name Necessary. It's just whether or not these teams want to play aggressive in the early game, or if they're going to look to scale. I mean, certainly TRL is going to want the Veigar to scale. The Ashe skill's okay, not very great in the late game, but not, you know, not a slouch when she gets the Runaan's comboed with her empowered Q. So
what I like to see from this Ashe actually is the build that is the Black Cleaver, the run-ins, and the IE. Because the Black Cleaver will shred the armor. That is the build that Ashe needs to be going for here versus all these tanks. Because otherwise, we're just in for a super long fight with no damage. I mean, both teams are just looking for picks in the early game, and that's all that they can do. But I think we're in for a very long game here. Yeah, whoever in chat said both coaches are drunk, I would totally agree. Like, whoever did these picks and bans are just like, I know, let's pick a tank. And everyone else is like, yeah, tank. And then
Hey, I mean, you were the one asking for the tanks before this
I mean,
game.
you're right. I was asking for tank. In
They're
the
just
top
taking
lane.
your advice. Come on.
I was saying in the top lane, I was saying support Lulu is the priority pick. Lulu didn't get picked or banned in the series in this game here.
Which I think is
know?
crazy, honestly.
Absolutely. And there was still Tristana available, and they took Ashe and Jhin. Why not Lulu Tristana? Easy bot lane. That's a clear win. And you know, either team takes it, you still have Jarvan Yorick, or you still have Maokai Zach. You know, you still have a good tank line. You have Vigar with as much CC as you need for an entire team comp. It just, I don't know, dude. I feel like neither of these teams know how to pick.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
All right, folks. Well, we are into game number 3, and I'm going to try and untilt Zoob over here as we get this one going. Some early poke out here from Sai. This will be the decider. Remember that we do play best of 3s during the regular season. A single 9-week round robin. So this will be the only time that these two teams meet, unless they end up matching up in the postseason. So this one is for bragging rights until then. Looking to secure their first win of the season on day 1 of ABL Season 3.
The one thing I do see is that Team N3 needs to be looking for early ganks on bot. Leona Jhin is going to have, I believe, a lot of pressure on Alistar Ashe. With the Jarvan, I think that they could actually get some early kills. The only problem is Jarvan is starting bot side, which means we likely won't see him ganking bot lane unless he goes for a level 2 gank, which would probably not be the best idea. Just, you're going to be interested to see what these teams have planned.
Take a deep breath.
I'm calm.
You got this.
I'm calm.
Everything's going to be all right.
The Jinx was available, by the way. The thing that dominated game 2.
As a support main, one thing that always tilts me is when I see supports not proccing to both of their relic shield stacks on the melee minions in the first wave. Because you always want to try and proc them on melee creeps. It's more gold than the casters. And then if you proc it on 2 of the melee minions in the first wave, then your next stack is up by the time that the cannon wave gets there.
Okay, I've always wondered about that because usually whenever I'm autofilled support, I save it for the cannon. Cause I'm like, I want the freaking cannon.
So
you know?
yeah, so no, if you go into wave with or go into lane with relic shield and proc your first 2 relic shield procs on melee creeps in the first wave, it will be your stack will be ready for the cannon creep. So you can do that, and then you just always want to prioritize melee minions and cannons over casters if you can.
Okay. Now, I do believe that TRL will outscale, especially if Ashe goes for that Black Cleaver Runin's Hurricane. And then the Vigar in general is going to scale super hard. Infinite scaling from that champion. I mean, it's just going to take a while, you know?
Yeah, and it will just, as you mentioned, entirely depend on if you know, whether or not the LeBlanc is able to take him down. If he does go that Abyssal Mask build, will certainly make Pectus' job much more difficult, taking out that game hyper carry in the Vigor.
Alright, that's just wrong, by the way. I know I pronounced a lot of champions wrong, but
Vigor?
Vigor is not right.
Whatever. Hey man, I'm not over here judging you about yours. You're gonna judge me? Come on now. I've been over here, had your back this whole time. We do have Jihoon Kim going in aggressively on Sai. He is going to trade back in Greed and Mephi actually fighting in the top side. Jihoon trying to run away, and first blood off the screen as Mr. Otter moves his way down. Sai will get a kill as well. Force the flash away, but it looks like it will not be enough. The ignite from Jihoon will secure that kill. Can Little Favor get a kill here? Most
3 for 1
Possibly
across the
Aftershock
map
activates, but the pots will actually keep the Leona alive.
Wow.
But a 2-for-1 trade across the map as both of these teams dueling here early in the game, pre-5 minutes, and the first blood gold going to Mr. Otter's Maokai.
I really thought that Leo would have gone down there, but you know, I mean, still an overall favorable trade for TRL. The Zach ganked. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. We totally missed that from the directed camera.
Mephi just got caught playing it a little too aggressively, was taking away, I believe, Singreed's Krug's camp.
Okay.
And Singreed showed up, and Mephi was fairly low health.
And Mr. Otter collapsed apparently. So.
Yeah, flashed and flag and drag wasn't able to get him far enough away, and yeah, Mr. Otter collapsed through the tri-brush and was able to secure that kill as Singreed did use his elastic slingshot over the wall.
So already the top lane, we see the Yorick pick. Like I said in before, we want to see either Gnar, Camille, Gangplank, or Tank. And what does he pick? He picks Yorick. Look at him. He's already 500 gold behind the Maokai. He's about to get
He's
solo
gonna die.
killed. He's solo killed. What? I feel like they're not even listening to me, honestly. Like,
You turn on the stream, guys. Come on. Coach is talking over here.
like, there's a reason for these champions, you know? And another just weird top lane pick that's not meta, that's just going to potentially lose them a game.
It's certainly going to give him an early deficit as Mr. Otter out to an early 2-0 lead on this Maokai is going to get very tanky very, very quickly.
Yeah, Maokai almost has 1,000 gold ahead of Yorick at this point. Hey, we are 6 minutes into the game, and he's about 1,000 gold ahead. Pectus needs to get snowballing on this LeBlanc. He has to.
Singreed has arrived in the bottom lane. The CC chain onto Jihoon Kim. He doesn't have his flash available. Could go down here. Is going to get stunned. Are they able to take it? Are they going to give it over to Singreed? Yes, they will. Now, Sai trying to chase down Myron, but he is going to be able to walk away, but still another kill over to TRL here as they continue to play very well in this early game.
And you know, it's not about Maokai being ahead as much as it's about... Oh!
Sorlos too
Wow.
aggressive. They're not respecting the early burst from Pectus' LeBlanc and will lose his life for the disrespect.
It's more that Maokai is going to be more useful in team fights, and he's going to be able to survive the split push versus Doggus, whereas Doggus' champion has to get ahead. We've seen this in the last 2 games with Rumble and with Renekton, where you had to get ahead in order to be a useful pick, and neither game he got ahead. And this game, once again, Doggus is behind on the champion that needs to be ahead to be useful, and it essentially makes the game a 4v5 at this point, especially with how late these games tend to go. Maybe not the first one, but the second one went kind of long. You know, everyone got at least 3 or 4 items. It essentially makes the game a 4v5.
Yeah, a little favor running again this Hex Flash. Singreed has arrived in the top lane. Can they take down Doggus? Good elastic slingshot into the ultimate, and Daggus is going to go down 3-0 is Mr. Otter, and oh my goodness, he is going to be huge.
He is over 1,000 gold ahead at this point. You know, he's going to farm up this wave. He's going to deny so many minions from Yorick, and I don't know. That's the TP from Pectus mid lane. Couldn't make anything happen bot lane, even with the 4v2, because Alistar is just such good disengage. Ashe has ult. There's just... So far, it's looking really good for TRL. Gold leads in every single lane except for mid, where Pectus does have a slight gold lead of 400.
But as we mentioned, Sorlo's just playing for late. He just wants to wait and scale up.
And it looks like he's going for Morello first. I don't know why he's not building Abyssal Mask. If he doesn't, I believe that would be a huge mistake. First Sour Blood for Maokai. Oh my gosh, he is 2,000 gold ahead at this point. The Yorick is pretty much useless at this point. He'd have to create a whole lot of pressure miraculously in a side wave to be useful in this game.
Singreed has arrived in the bottom lane. Pectus is here as well, so they do need to be careful waiting outside of vision, and is now going to go in for the Ashe. Can they get the burst? Sai not going to be locked down by the Jhin, and good disengage by a little favor. Vigar has arrived, is going to land the stun. Pectus is going to die. Here comes the ultimate from the Ashe, and it will just miss. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow not landing on the bot lane, but it doesn't matter. That's a kill on the No Names Necessary mid laner, and a good play there, good response from Team Royal Luck.
Yeah, and we saw the Vigar ulti there just do 370 damage to Pectus, and he only has like 800 health. So it's just like it feels bad, dude. They picked Vigar, you know, because the champion's ultimate that's half my HP. What the heck, team, you know? Like, I would still like to see him go for an Abyssal Mass just so he can't die to the LeBlanc, but at this point he's already caught up in gold. Maokai 2k ahead, Zac 500 ahead, Vigar 100 behind at this point after the solo death, and the bot lane is ahead by about 300 gold total. So Team Royal Luck is looking really good this game. They're looking like they're set out to repeat game 2.
Certainly getting very well set up for this mid game. Mr. Otter trying to secure a little bit more vision around his lane as he does take down the Scuttle Crab, and Daggus backing. So will Mephi, and Mr. Otter just going to get back up there and clear out that wave and just continue to hold the advantage in this top lane matchup.
Yeah, and you see him clearing the Scuttle Crab here. It provides so much vision for both the mid lane, who doesn't want to get ganked by Jarvan. It's hard enough to survive the 1v1, and then both himself. So Yorick has no chance to come back in with all this vision that he's denying from No Name Necessary, and also he's giving to himself and the Vigar. That's the only way they come back is a good Jarvan gank onto Maokai. You kill the Maokai, get Yorick a lot of gold for the shutdown. That's how you come back. You camp this Vigar, get him behind. That's how you come back with the Fed LeBlanc. But they're making it just so hard.
Now Jhin ultimate activated in the bot lane. They have forced out the stopwatch from Sai, and Mephi will now back away. Here comes a little favor. He doesn't want to use the full combo. Is going to knock Mephi back. He's stunned. Can Sai get the kill before Myron Bro take him down? And he will, but that will be a traded kill as Vigar goes down in the middle lane. Pectus securing his second kill and fights across the map as Royal Luck now looking to push the tier 2 and top side. Doesn't look like Daggus can really threaten this, but Pectus is starting to rotate.
Yeah, and that was Vigar's stopwatch as well, so doesn't have that for a future kill potential. In fact, this with one combo, the QWE just destroys the Vigar. Where is the Abyssal Mask, my friend? He did go Merc Shreds, which is not right, but it's okay. Daggus is actually up about 10 farms, so I mean, it doesn't mean much in comparison to, you know, 3 kills, but he's farming for that Trinity Force. Once he gets the Trinity Force, he should be able to do decently in the lane against Maokai. But it looks like they're initiating a lane swap. They actually have Vigar bot lane, their bot lane top. They're looking, I'm not sure what they're looking for. Maybe for an early Herald, because they already took the top wave, or the top tower. I'm not sure what they're looking for here. Weird macro by TRL, but they had such great macro last game. Maybe they know something that I don't.
Yeah, and the hard part is that, you know, with the Vigor getting behind to Pectus's LeBlanc, I can understand you wanting to try and protect him and allow him to farm up, but throwing him down there to deal with a Jhin and a Leona is not going to make his life any easier in
Not
the
at
kill threat
all.
department. They are moving on to the Rift Herald, as you mentioned. 4 members going to take this one down. Should be fairly easy, although Pectus and Dagus are waiting in the wings. A little favor here to try and knock them away. Rift Herald will be secured. Are they going to go for the fight? The Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands on Dagus. Here comes all the engage. They're going to pile onto the top laner for no names necessary, and Sora Low gets the kill. They're going to take him down and move to the mid lane. Do they want to continue to fight? Doesn't look like it. They'll just clear out this wave. See where they go from there.
And at this point, I would send back to the 1-3-1, unless they really plan on pushing in for this mid tower. Yeah, and they're putting down the Herald. Disagree. They have no wave. I mean, oh, Jin's dead.
Ooh, yep, there he goes. Sorlo gets another kill here. 3 and 2, and that mid lane tier 1 will go down. And that's going to certainly open up the map. Now they want to fight still. Singreed with the elastic slingshot, but now, oh, Mephi's trying to get into the back line, but this could be a mistake. He's going to go down. Sai takes the kill. Now they're going to try and chase down Jihoon Kim. He is not long for this world. Flashes back under his tower, uses the stopwatch, but it's not going to save him. Sorlo gets another kill, and they could take 2 towers here. Sorlo, got to be careful. He's going to die to Pectus, the shutdown for the LeBlanc, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. 2 towers, and wow, the Rift Herald's even going to get a charge on the inhibitor tower.
I mean,
Royal Luck just controls the middle of the map.
I've been actually fairly impressed by the macro play from Royal Luck in his last 2 games. Maybe
you were skeptical for a moment, but then they take 2 towers.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's too results based to be impressed. I still think that they could have maybe played the macro better, but I mean, they got what they wanted. You know, they got the 2 middle towers. They got damage on the end hit tower. They got Vygar just got like 3 kills in that engage. Like,
Pectus is running away from side. Is going to get caught by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Will he get the kill? Yes, he does. Takes down Pectus. Now they're going to try and duel Jihoon and Mephi down here, trying to fight the bottom lane. Singreed and excuse me, Sorlo will get the kill in the river. Now Sorlo going to try and take down Dagus here. He's trying to chase down Little Favor. Has the ultimate locked onto the Alistar, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Here comes Singreed. Elastic Slingshot. Sorlo secures the kill, and all of a sudden, the Vigor 5, 3, and 2.
yeah,
Definitely catching up in the gold department, and a 6,500 gold lead for Royal Luck.
And they're just so far ahead, and I just don't see how, based on how TRL played last game, I don't see them throwing this lead and ending up losing.
And they add even
The
more
Vygar
scaling
is
with
so
that
hard.
Infernal secure.
Yeah, the Infernal is huge. They already have the Cloud. The next dragon is an Earth, so they're going to have such great Baron pressure too if they manage to grab that.
Ooh, Sai's got to be very careful here. He has no mana. Here comes Pectus. Does the 80 carry go down? Here comes the burst, and boom. Goodbye, Ash.
Love it.
You're playing against a LeBlanc. Oh, and congratulations to Pectus on that beautiful KDA there.
Yep, 420. Let's do it.
Well, they are going to try and make a play in the mid lane. Jihoon Kim going in aggressively, but his 80 carry is in trouble.
Done.
Goodbye, Jin. There's a Vigor on the map. Now, Little Favor is going to get the stun onto Jihoon. Can the Vigor get another kill?
Even though this Alistar is 0-0-11,
he's going to get stunned, but they're going to let him take it. Oh, come on. Use your Q, dude.
He's 0-0-11 on the alley, but I still think so far that Singreed has looked so good on the Zac.
He's been all over the place.
Oh yeah, exactly. He's been ganking everywhere. He's had some great ultimates. He's had great CC all over the place. It's really, really well played from Singreed. Honestly, this entire series. Sure, game 1 didn't quite go their way. He played the early game exactly how he needed to, though. And the second game, he played amazing. And this game, you know, he's been playing phenomenally. So the Vygar actually ended up going for a Banshee's Veil and a Merc Treads. I still would have liked to see the Abyssal Mask, I think, but you know, that's still a lot of MR. Dang, just imagine if that Yorick was a gank point. How well this would be going.
Yeah, I think the best way to put it is Singrid has just been relentless this game. He has been non-stop ganking every lane, forcing every fight he possibly can, and has not allowed No Name Necessary to come up for air at all. He has just been so extremely aggressive on this Zac pick, taking advantage of the range that he can engage from and setting his team up for success.
With this Vygar leaving base right now, it looks like they might actually try and set up for another 20-minute Baron. There's Doggett going down. That's a 4v5 at the very most. Vygar's fresh out of base. He just bought. He got his Morello. He has 10 stacks on his Darksteel. This should... I think that they could easily go for a Baron here.
They do have Mr. Otter pushing in the bot lane, dealing with Myron Bruh in just the 1v1.
Neither one of them have TP, but still, that's the 80 carry for the tank for one of the 3 tanks. So
yeah,
you know,
I'd say that's a worthy trade, and they are going to catch out Ji-Hoon Kim there, chaining the CC. The
nice.
That will miss. As Sorlo gets his 8th kill of the game, and man, this Vigor is huge.
Yeah, and in the interview I did with Sorlo, he said he was not concerned about Pectus Excavatus or anything that people said about how good he was, and he's showing it right now. It doesn't matter how good Pectus is, their teamwork is dominating. Great Jarvan play.
Getting onto the backline, they are going to be able to take down Psy with the burst there, but Sorlo will be able to take down Mephis J4. Now here comes Mr. Otter, late with the engage, the ultimate from the backside. He and Singrid are going to take a bit of damage, but still very, very tanky. Not really worried about the Jhin or LeBlanc.
So something I want to point out is Myron bro is going full lethality into 3 tanks. I don't agree with that whatsoever. Like, full lethality is really good into squishies, but it's where's the IE? Where's the rapid fire cannon? Why are you going Yomu's Duskblade into 3 tanks? Are you planning on only attacking the Vygar and the Ashe? Maybe? Which actually might be the best option, just ignoring the tanks, because you have to, as Jhin, just auto one of the 2 damage dealers. The Vygar doesn't have that much farm, honestly. 130 farm at 22 minutes isn't that much, but he has 9 kills. He's going to one-shot anyone, except for maybe, like, Jarvan if he goes full tank, which he is.
Ooh, Dag is forced to flash away as the event horizon dropped by Sorlo. And that summoner spell down from the No Name Necessary top laner. You sound sad.
Who?
You do. I heard that.
I do?
I heard that sigh. You're just over here like, man, this Jhin build's really bumming me out.
I mean, there's just a lot of stuff bumming me out this game, honestly.
Well,
it's like No Name Necessary is totally ignoring what I'm saying. It's like they're not even listening to me.
well, Mr. Otter doesn't seem to be listening to anything but the call of the top lane inhibitor tower as he is pushing these waves down the top side.
He can definitely 1v1 this York at this point. He has 2 armor items. He has Ninja Tabbies, and he has health from the Spectre Scowl. Doggett has a Trinity Force.
Drake.
Not even trying to fight him. Just running.
Now this Mountain Drake up.
Flash. That was a very bad flash from Mr. Otter. Very, very bad. He had the ultimate. He could have W'd his Scuttle Crab. It was just a waste of a flash on Maokai, but now they're fighting over the Earth Drake, and it is secured by Psy.
Uh-oh, here comes the Ashe ultimate. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to land on Mephi, and he's going to die. Now, Ji-Hoon Kim has used the ultimate, is going to slow multiple members of TRL, so they may not be able to continue to chase this fight, but let's see what they can do. Rooted is Singrid that will cancel the elastic
but still the
slingshot.
damage is already done. They have 2 0-5 members on TNN 3, and then they have the Mountain Drake confirmed already. Like, the TP out from Mr. Otter to go top to stop Doggett from taking the tower. I mean, 0 towers to 5. It's reminiscent of the second game, really, where we saw 6 towers to 1 at one point. 14 Royal Luck, and they're on the Baron.
Yeah, 24 minutes in. They have vision control here, so doesn't seem
Vigar,
like No Name Necessary even knows.
Vigar has so many stacks already on his Medjai, and he has the Event Horizon with so much CC, blocks off the entire walkway. There's no way for anyone to get in there. Mephi wasn't responding in time. There's a free Baron. They're so good at these free Barons.
Pectus, ooh, gotta be careful there. Just blinking away, and that, yes, an early Baron again over to Team Royal Luck is going to help them continue to snowball the advantage that they have. 11,000 gold, 5 towers to 0, and nearly at a kill per minute pace with those 20 kills in 25 minutes. This aggressive early game approach with the, even with a scaling composition, all this engage paying off so well for Royal Luck as they are certainly poised to take this series 2-1. Now, talk to me. We've been very much down on No Name Necessary, and the macro play has certainly picked up very much in the last few minutes from TRL. What is No Name Necessary's way back into this game?
They're way back into this game. First off, you have to start building for the pen on the side of on No Name Necessary, because they have all those tanks. You can make this engage on the side, but it doesn't matter. They still have the Vigar doing all the damage. You still have all these tanks that are not killable by the carry of No Name Necessary.
Ooh, Jin's in big trouble. Here comes the Wombo combo, grabbed by the Zac ultimate, double kill the Sai. He's gonna get a. They're gonna get a third. And
Your
just
only
Pectus
hope
and
is
Dagus left to defend.
that the ZZ Rod comes in for this Zoric, and he manages to split push, but I can't see a world where he manages to split push harder than the 5-man can take the towers. Like I was saying in the champ select, the 5-man has such good engage that it doesn't matter if they 1-3-1, because they can just end the game right here.
They're going to certainly give it a shot. They're going for the Nexus Towers. The first one will go down. Dagus is actually forced to back. Teleport in. Here comes the second tower. Event Horizon has been dropped to zone. No Name Necessary away. Can they win the fight? Jihoon Kim going in aggressively. Going to get the engage. Mephi hasn't gone in yet. Ooh, Sai very low, though. They're going to have to be careful. He has been able to back away from the LeBlanc. And
this should be game.
Vigor there to defend and zone them away. Now Sai is dead, but there are still 4 members left of TRL. Now Dagus is going to try and chase out Mr. Otter. The flag and drag will land under the support. He will lose his life, so 3 members will back away, but still
going for Jihoon.
A positive trade as 2 Nexus Towers are down, and oh my gosh, Mr. Otter with so much sustain and so tanky that he takes so long to kill.
This is what I was saying about Maokai getting ahead. You know, people, you might think, you know, oh no, Maokai's ahead. I mean, he's so tanky. The Yorick can't kill him 1v1. The whole team can't kill him 5v1. There's a reason why these champions that aren't meta aren't effective. It's because if they're not meta and they're not tanks, what do you... I just... The only way they can come back at this point is if Pectus manages to get onto Ashe and Vigar and 1v1 them. But Vigar has a lot of magic resist at this point. He has the Zonias at this point. You know, he has the Banshees and the Merc Treads. I can't see how they come back in this. Full lethality Jin is not going to stop a Zac, Maokai, and Alistar diving on you.
Pectus going to be able to juke that enchanted crystal arrow, so the ultimate down from Sai's Ashe. Next strike up in 1:20 as they look to play around that objective before they go for the base. And as you mentioned, that ZZ Rot placed down right next to the Nexus, trying to help maintain a push in that middle lane.
That's the most you can do at this point, honestly. You can't have Yori splitting with an inhib down. It would just be pretty much asking for them to end the game if you let Yori split with an inhib down.
Ooh, Jihoon Kim stepping up very far. Good use of the blast cone.
Yeah, and this is going to be bot tower for sure. You still have the Event Horizon on Vigar. You have the Ashe ultimate almost off cooldown. This should be actually the inhib bottom, the inhib top, maybe even the game.
Here comes Sin Greed. He's going to pull 2 members together. Good ultimate, going to keep him in place. And Sai gets the first kill. Dagus is dead. Now it's a 5v4. They're looking to push for this bot lane inhibitor tower. This could be the game.
Down. Super minions on the Nexus, and it forces them to give up the inhib for free.
Yeah, the ZZ Rot was not enough to defend the base. Now Sin Greed going to go in Ash takes down the inhibitor. Mephi forced the flash away, and this is it. Just focus the Nexus. You can win the game. Jihoon gonna try and get in onto the side, but it doesn't really matter.
The KDA.
Come on. TRL finished the game.
All that matters.
Mephi is gonna die. The
is
Alistar, the Alistar ruins it and gets a kill instead of going 0-0 and 21 will take the kill, but they will take the Nexus. And Royal Luck with the reverse sweep and the best of 3 will take their first victory of Season 3 in the ABL.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's well deserved too. I mean, they adapted from the draft in the first game. Their first game draft was awful, and then all of a sudden they're just like, "Hey, you guys want to win?" And they did, and they made a better draft decision all through both the next games. They played incredible macro games from the second and third game. The first game, it looked so bad. I honestly did not see a world where TRL was going to win this based on the first game, but then they managed. Actually, I can't believe that they had any damage in this entire game, but Vigar did no damage actually, whereas Ash did the most, followed by Zach and Maokai and Vigar on Team Royal Luck. And Yorick did the most damage in 3, but he was still, what, 0-5, 0-6? 0-6, 0-6-1 for Yorick. I just don't understand why these teams are trying with these top lane picks, and it's just not working. Like, these teams have to adapt, or at least TRL did adapt. N3 has to adapt for next week. They can't try the Renekton and the Yorick. They have to be going for the meta or for a tank in the top lane. These super tank comps were kind of weird, but it worked out for TRL just because their tanks were better. They got Zac, they got Alistar, who a little favor was amazing on Alistar last game. Why would they give it over for free again without something planned into it? It didn't. A little favor looked so good, but for this game MVP, I'm going for Singreed. 100% kill participation? No. Like 80%. I don't know how to do math. 4018. 4018.
Perfect
Incredible KDA. Yeah, and he had great ultimates, great ganks, great catches out everywhere. Definitely Singreed MVP. The Zac pick was huge. They just outplayed macro-wise. I want to know who their shot caller is, honestly, on TRL, because they had some great macro game in the second and third one.
All right, well, on that note, give me just a moment, and we are going to get Singreed in here for a little post-game interview to talk about that match. Let's see if I can get up here. There we go. Let's no unserver mute. Dang, I always forget. Edit channel. Let me make sure that he can talk. Hold up just a sec, Singreed. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, we do have Singreed of Team Royal Luck, the jungler of the victorious team, joining us on the caster desk. A hell of a series there. You guys looked to really struggle in that first game. Looked like the draft really put you guys behind, but seems like you guys really brushed that off well after that and came back with a vengeance in games 2 and 3. A couple of great heavy engage and team fighting compositions, and very much around your play on the J4 in game 2 as well as the Zac here in game 3. How do you feel about your team's ability to bounce back after a rough game 1?
Well, I mean, basically the first game was just, we kind of just wanted to see if we could get something troll comp and just see if, basically gauge their abilities. That's really what that whole first comp was about. And then after we saw what they were good at, what they weren't. Yeah, it was very troll. We all agreed on that. We were like, this is so troll. Let's just see if it works. And so we got into the second game. We were like, all right, we know what their strengths are. We know what their weaknesses are. Let's go. So we drafted exactly how we wanted. We baited their draft exactly how we wanted. Went straight into the game. I mean, we don't really need to talk about the games that much because, well, we played like we needed to. We finished our drafts. We got what we needed.
I was very critical of the game 1 draft for you guys about mainly the top lane pick, and just the Lee Sin Rumble duo was like not very good. And I don't know what happened in the second and third game, but you guys definitely stepped up your draft. I think that was a huge factor in what made you win.
I agree. Basically, we just we went back to what we were comfortable with, what we've been practicing in scrims and in flex queue, whatever it is. That's what we went back to. We went back to what we're good with, and it worked out for us. We just put Sai on what he's good at. We basically asked Yoji, the support, a little favor, and asked him like, "All right, what you want?" And he's like, "Give me Alistair. We got you." Gave you Alistair, and look what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about a little favor there, because I mean, we were singing his praises the entire last 2 games because he played so well. He utilized the Hex Flash phenomenally, especially in Game 2. I mean, he was consistently pressuring with that, allowing him to get those pulverized and then headbutt back, down the lane combos. Talk to me a little bit about your support and the confidence you guys have in him on that Alistar pick.
Well, I mean, every single time we play, it's always what are we going to play around them? Because Yoji is just so great. We love him. He's amazing. And so whenever we try to go into a comp, we kind of try to like look at what's going to happen in the game and where do we need Yoji and where do we need me. So basically, we're just synergizing really well. Those ganks all over the place. It's just great. And the reason that we love Yoji so much is because he's so adaptable. You can ban, like you saw, they banned 2 of his picks right off the bat. We thought they were going to go ban the Alistar as well, but for some reason they left that up. We were like, all right, well, gimme. This is over. And so Sai and Yoji, they're just so good together. They've been playing together. They're brothers. I mean, you can't separate that. Their bond is just too strong, and they're just able to dominate every bot lane in this league, I'm pretty sure.
Every single one?
From what I'm seeing, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like, I think that a little favor actually played like extremely well in all 3 games. Honestly, even whenever you guys lost, I noticed that his Shen, like whenever he was playing Shen, he was roaming like exactly where he needed to be, despite you guys just being so far behind. And I was actually really impressed. Like, is he your shot caller, or who's your shot caller in the
Our shot caller is a mix between me and Sai. But then we all kind of just throw in suggestions, and then Sai just says, okay, we're doing this one, and we go with it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, second and third game, I was pretty impressed by your macro. It wasn't the cleanest it could be, but it was a whole lot better than the first game. And it was definitely, like, the 20-minute Barons and the 23-minute Barons, like, those are good calls, Like, whenever you know you can do it, it's definitely worth the try.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because, I mean, you have standing objectives, and then you have ones that are just, you can flex take. And you got your standing objectives, which is your turrets. And then, so basically, you just want to try and work around the different objectives as much as you possibly can. You just need to see where your enemy is. You need to see where your vision line is. And it's basically it's a giant game of chess.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so you got anything?
No, I think that's going to do it. Thank you so much for joining us, Singreed. Congratulations on y'all's first victory here in Week 1 of the ABL, and we certainly look forward to seeing a lot more out of you guys for the rest of the season. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you around.
Thank you for the invite.
No problem, man. Have a good one.
Bocce was actually asking if he could do an interview for their series as well.
No, we're going to close out the cast here. We'll do interviews for series that we do cast, but that will do it for us here, folks. A hell of a series there with Team Royal Luck getting the wins in games 2 and 3 to recover from what Singreed called a troll draft in game number 1 to secure their victory and move themselves to the top of the standings here on day 1 of ABL Season 3. So congratulations to Team Royal Luck. Gonna have to see how No Name Necessary responds after this series. Just want to thank everybody so much for joining us on the stream tonight. It's a lot of fun. It's so good to be back, and I look forward to the rest of the season. Just want to remind everybody, if you guys want to support us, obviously continue to come out and watch the stream Mondays and Tuesday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Consider subscribing. Consider hitting that donate link at the bottom of our page in the description. Otherwise, look out for us tomorrow night. I will be on here with another new caster to bring to y'all some more color commentary, and we will be featuring Kawaii Knights, formerly Enter the Beast, your Season 2 champions, taking on Reborn Gaming on stream tomorrow, so look out for that. I want to thank Zoob one more time for joining me. Keep an eye out for him the rest of the season, guys. He did great tonight. I'm excited to see what he can do for the rest of the season on the cast. And that'll do it for us here at ABL Esports. Thank you so much from myself, the rest of the broadcast team, all of the staff here at the ABL. We will see you guys again tomorrow.
Bye.